Warning, we are a spoilers podcast. At times we are also an offensive podcast. And we are most certainly a verbally explicit podcast. So if you fear for any of your delicate sensibilities, please back up now before you reach the point of no return. Alright, pussies, this is your final warning.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Cinematic Anarchy, rolling into the end of Season 6 with only a few more episodes left. We are here once again to talk about a random film. I gave you like a series of 6, Piper. Like a series of 6 films, and you're like, I want to watch that one, and I'm thinking it's because you're like, I recognize some of these names. That's why you picked that one out. I recognize some of these names, you know? And it was not about those people at all. This film was not about those people at all. So
it was not.
No. And we are talking about a movie called Range 15. There's a lot of good to say about this film on my behalf. I said those words earlier before we started the podcast, to which Piper kind of rolled her eyes a little bit. And I will say, we are not the target audience for this film, I don't think. Because this is a film that was it was an Indiegogo campaign. It was actually the fourth largest Indiegogo campaign. Yeah. My words will come out of my mouth sooner or later. I'm tripping over my tongue trying to say Indiegogo campaign. Indiegogo
tripping
campaign.
Over that trung?
Trung. Tripping over to trung. Wow. So I swear I have not been drinking. I have not been drinking. It sounds like it, but I haven't been at all.
And did you go... I don't know. Did you get your ear infection looked at?
So, I did not. My ear infection is feeling a lot better now. That was... It was a little. It was there. I couldn't hear for a little bit out of the left ear, and then a little bit of ibuprofen, Q-tip, a couple of other things, and we're good. We're good.
Good.
So, Ranger Up and Article 15. These are two veterans-based shirt companies. Basically, they make T-shirts and so on and so forth for basically for veterans. They had launched a crowdsourcing campaign with Indiegogo to raise $325,000. Basically, they were looking to raise the remainder of the money for their film, which was around, I think they were looking for $325,000. They themselves had donated $25,000 to the campaign. This ended up making a little bit over $1 million to fund this project.
Oh.
What? What was the look?
I thought you meant like that they made like $1 million in a box office type thing.
I'm not sure this ever reached the box office. I can't say that it did not sell, but this actually stars some fairly familiar people.
Yes.
People you would recognize. I recognize Matt Best from a couple of other things.
I recognize him from his YouTube stuff and his Black Rifle Coffee ads.
Yes, okay. The other guys I'm not as familiar with, like the main crew there. I'm not as familiar with them.
The Vincent Rocco Vargas, he was the big tatted dude.
Yes.
He was. I think he's on the show that was like, it's either a sequel or, a spinoff from Sons of Anarchy called Mayans.
Is he? Okay.
I believe so.
Yes, the Mayans MC. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I don't recognize a lot of these. I did recognize Tim Kennedy, the guy that goes basically full frontal. They kind of censored him out a little bit. Full frontal to fight Randy Couture at the end of the movie.
It's like one of the scenes I didn't mind watching.
Just tears off his clothes. He's an actual MMA fighter, so that was not like...
He's also a veteran.
And a veteran. Well, most of these guys are veterans. And most of these guys are literally playing themselves.
Yeah.
So throughout the film... These people are all basically playing themselves, but in a zombie apocalypse setting.
It's like, I think the only few who were not were like the 2 women, and then you had, of course, David Keith, William Shatner, Sean Astin.
Ross Patterson was not playing himself.
Who's Ross Patterson?
Ross Patterson? Gene. Gene. The uber douche in the entire film.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
It's like, for a second, I'm like, ooh, you're fuckable. And then I hear his mouth, I'm like, ooh, no, you're not.
Yeah, he's not fuckable at all.
No, because I know he'd be, like, during the whole time, he'd just be talking about how good he is.
But he's funny. Yeah, I know I'm fuckable. I'm very fuckable. I'm the most fuckable person on the face of the fucking planet. Yeah.
Every fuckable person wishes they were as fuckable as me.
I'm so fuckable that everybody else is second best.
Gosh.
Well, that elevates everyone else, right? They're all second. It's a tie for second.
Well, he thinks Matt is second best.
Right? Okay, first, I will mention one of the funniest moments for him was when they're trying to tell you that he was in a Lifetime movie, which ended up looking more like softcore porn. Like, when do Lifetime movies have a 27-minute sex scene?
When they're on the Skinamax.
Yeah, it's not a Lifetime movie, though. Lifetime movies, in general, are fairly sexless.
I find it funny that, it was more conceivable that Matt Best was having sex with Eliza, and she said, that part where she's like, do it in my butt so I don't get pregnant during the zombie apocalypse.
Did you have popcorn? Is it sharp? I was like, oh my god, what? No.
Yeah. That sex scene looked more conceivable, and so did the one where the guy was fucking the zombie.
Look, I'm going to say this before we get into talking about the rest of the film. I could not stop laughing watching this film. Some of the laughing was definitely not because of the fact that the jokes were landing, but some of it was just hilarious. Some of it was really bad, some of it was really good.
I think the part I laughed at the most was, did you have popcorn?
Yeah, I just said that. We were just talking about that. Is it sharp?
And that's the part I laughed at the most. The rest of it, I think I was just holding my head to my hand saying, oh God, why did the fuck I choose this?
I'm glad you chose it.
I fucking chose this.
I'm glad you chose it. I really am.
I guess it all boils back down to, I'm a zombie, film fanatic. I love zombie films. Right. But you're right. This was not targeted towards somebody like me. My man might love it, but it just wasn't targeted towards me. My dad might love it.
Well, you also have to keep in mind, this is a movie made by veterans to better represent members of the military. So this, like I said, we're not necessarily the target audience. Neither of us have actually been in the military. So we're not necessarily within the crowd that this was originally made for.
I watched this and I'm like, there's a few of these guys that, it's like, I could take to bed for a night, but the rest of the film I was just like, eh.
That being said, if you take into account that 90% of the main people in this film, the main actors in this film, were A, playing themselves, and B, they're military veterans. So acting, I wasn't expecting upper echelon acting to begin with.
The acting was not that bad.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
The acting was not that bad. The acting was okay and there for me. As an actress, it's like I was not judging their acting one bit.
I'm not sure if Janitors is out yet, but I kind of want to watch it.
Is it janitors playing janitors?
Okay, I'm taking it you didn't watch the end credits.
No.
You turned it off when the credits started rolling, over. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. After the credits, basically they had an end credits scene. They did the Marvel thing. So they had an end credits scene where basically he wakes up the day after the zombie apocalypse is over, and his best buddy, they talk for a minute about the whole zombie apocalypse thing, and then he says, you know what, we should just go down and become janitors at the all-girls college over here. And that's apparently the setup for the sequel, which is going to be Janitors. Oh, so I'm going to go check around. I'm not sure if Indiegogo has got that one up and running, or if it's already in production or made. But this was back in 2016, so I'm hoping 6 years later, 7 years later, they might have gotten it made. Because I'd willingly watch it, just to see if they go and take it a next step.
What's one of the things of Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say.
You forgot what you were going to say. You got a couple of words that rolled out of your mouth, and it didn't sound like they were in the right order.
And they all rolled into my head at once, and it was like, which one's going to come out of your tongue? And it's like, none of them. My tongue said, not today, Satan.
No. I enjoyed the film for what it was, though.
I will say my favorite character is the one who played Heather, the girl with the blonde hair, pink streaks.
Okay, Jesse Weissman.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought she was incredible. And the girl who played Eliza, I mean, I get it. She was basically there for a glorified tit shot. But, I did like her character.
You didn't get to see the tit shot, though. That was so disappointing.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody showed... they showed a dick being ripped off, so, I mean, why didn't they not show titties?
I mean, basically, it was a zombie little person running across the screen and just ripping his dick off.
God, when I saw it, I was like, that dick is so fake. And then that little thing ripped out, I was like, oh, that's why it's fake.
Or, I think one of my other favorite scenes was Rocco standing up against the glass, and they have this interchange, like, man, can you move away from the glass? There's a zombie's going to rip you through that glass. And he's like, don't worry, no zombie is going to rip me through the glass. You know how large they would have to be to rip me through the glass? He goes, if this was a zombie apocalypse movie, this would be the exact moment where the zombie would rip you through the glass. And then 2 seconds later...
And then next thing you know, he's fucking the female zombie in the back. Oh, and there's a love... I think that's another thing that gets me about this movie. It's like, A, they would have been infected, all of them, just from the sheer fact they had all zombie blood all over them. And then...
No, I don't think that's not how that works. No, because there's so many movies where zombie blood gets all over people. That's not how that works. Well,
Vargas put his dick in one.
Okay,
he should have been infected.
Mind you, the only reason I gave him a pass on the fucking the zombie on the counter in the convenience store, the only reason I gave him a pass is because I don't think it's ever been established that fucking a zombie turns you.
Well, I mean,
he could have put a condom on, like any other STD. I don't want that zombie, but let's go.
He also kissed that zombie, and that zombie wasn't just trying to eat him.
Right.
Again.
So this establishes that the zombies in their particular universe have a small amount of brain function still going on.
I mean, they have to. I mean, did you not? It's like that MMA fight shit. It's like so many times that zombie could have just bitten to Tim. All those zombies who were fighting could have bitten to any of the other ones. Danny Trejo could have just bitten to them.
I mean, first of all, I'm wondering, does Rocco just like it dangerous? Because they found the cure for the zombies. But he decided to go back to her and make out with her as a zombie. So have we established that he, like in the next movie in Janitors, is he just going to be the guy that married the zombie? It's like, no, man, don't turn her back. We in love.
That's if he even comes back, because as a person, he's I think he's like a born-again Christian.
Yeah? Why wouldn't he come back? I was
reading about him.
Why wouldn't he come back?
Because there's some things when you're a born-again Christian you don't do.
When did he become a born-again Christian?
After this was made.
But he's also in the Mayans, right?
Yes, but there's some things on, the Mayans that you can get away from not doing, that you can't get away from not doing on this shit.
That's very true. I mean, they didn't pull any punches. They went raunchy from the get-go.
I mean, let's look at the scene where they made it look like he was getting Eiffel Towered.
Okay.
When they were giving him the cure and biting down on the beer. He looked like he was getting Eiffel Towered when they did the pull-out shot.
I call that spit roasted.
You're right, because they weren't holding hands above him, so yeah, that's spit roasting.
I mean, they definitely they did the Eiffel Tower thing. They did high five.
Oh,
they did high five. But that was like
he was spit towered.
Right. Spit towered? Eiffel towered with a little bit of spit. I mean, just
Spitful towered.
Okay. Oh. No, I
did love how they brought the trope in of like the one who's always seems like the dumb blonde, and then next thing you know, she explains how the cure works with something else.
What is your favorite Mindy moment? That's her name. That's Mindy Robinson. Her name's Eliza in the movie.
Oh.
I called it a Mindy moment, though.
You mean Beatrice?
Every name that they had for her. What was your favorite moment with her?
My favorite.
I have one that just stands out.
It's gotta be. Is it Sharp?
My favorite moment, like they do some things here, they break the fourth wall for a second, right? They do a few things here that are like, they talk about being in the movie, and one of my favorite scenes with her is they're leaving the mess hall. She's like, "Can I come with you? I haven't talked in a little bit."
That was funny. I was like, oh my god, they gave her a gratuitous line.
They gave her the line just basically saying, I haven't said much in this movie yet. Can I come with you guys so I can say a little more? I need to talk.
Can I come with you? I haven't said anything in a while.
That was one of my favorite bits with her. I didn't know whether or not to feel terrible or laugh my ass off when they killed her at the end of the movie.
I felt bad.
I felt bad.
Like,
up until her friend
shot her for no reason.
Up until her friend like kneels over her, has this big melodramatic moment, calling her like a whore and a bitch.
You stupid bitch.
You stupid bitch. You fucking whore. And then she just gets up and walks away.
After taking her gun.
Right. You got to take the gun.
But she didn't grab the pistol.
No, she didn't. She took the gun. She didn't grab the pistol. And then she's like, Hey, guys, where are your guns? And it's like, we didn't take the guns with us. Why? That was after the Randy Couture moment. Why didn't you take the guns with you? Well, because we're about to have an epic battle, an epic final battle. She's like, you morons, I'm out of here.
I loved her in this movie.
I liked it all.
One scene I was confused. There was one scene I was confused, and it's like when they come up basically like against the Mortal Kombat squad of zombies, and Heather's just sitting there like this, like paws up, like she's ready to attack. Like, bitch, are you about to go hand to hand? I thought y'all had guns. Everybody else has a gun, but you. And then it's like they start shooting. I was like, oh, she grabbed her pistol. Okay, she still had a gun.
You know what? Can you name any other favorite moments you had in the film other than it's sharp?
I felt bad for Sean Astin's character.
Oh God, yeah, where he's like explaining to him, he's like, hot girl in the middle of Arizona. I'm sorry, she's zombie meat now.
She's in El Paso.
Oh, El Paso, Texas. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, my God, you're right. There's nothing to live for.
It's so funny because you told me at first like you didn't see Sean Astin, and it's like I was watching the rest of the movie because I split it up in 2 days because I could not watch that in a full setting.
I think I wasn't focused on him though. That's why I didn't recognize it.
Well, in fairness, I think most of the time we only got a side profile of him, like which from a side profile sometimes for faces it's harder to get like who that is.
Also, this is 2016 Sean Astin when he was still kind of buff. Now I'm used to a more chubby version of Sean Astin, so I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, 2016 he still had his 51st date buffness.
He was buried amongst all the jacked guys in this movie, you know? I would say one of my favorite moments was much, much later in the film, near the end of the film. Like, I had one of the people that I really liked in the film was the girl that played the armless daughter of the Colonel.
Oh, God.
Oh, come on. David Keith, Colonel Holloway's, Keith David, not David Keith. Colonel Holloway's daughter, like, walks in the first time that you see her in the movie, and she's like, what the stump fuck? Just... The fact that she said that caught me so off guard, I almost dropped out of my chair laughing.
Okay, us talking about it is making me realize I probably enjoyed it more than I actually thought I did.
See, you enjoy this much more than you want to admit.
Fumbling for the keys. Like that, all of that.
The problem is that so much of this movie is non-PC. There's no politically correct anything in this movie, or what anybody would consider PC. So when you're laughing your ass off and you're like, should I have laughed at that? Yeah, I'm going to laugh anyway. It was fucking hilarious. It's like sitting through an entire bit of like Daniel Tosh's comedy. No?
You're right.
I'm right. I like it when I'm right. Okay, best guest spot in the movie.
What's a guest spot? Is that like where Sean Astin, Keith David, and
obviously,
Shatner?
Obviously, all the big names that are in this movie, they're all guest stars in the movie. They're all people that kind of did like a little cameo in the film.
Yeah, but they put them on the main roster like for their selling point.
If you look up this movie, all of their names come well before anybody that's in the veterans category.
I know.
All right, unless you go over to like Wikipedia. Wikipedia has all the veterans listed first, and then the miscellaneous guests.
You know what, William Shatner? Just for the simple fact, he's the first zombie to have his head split open. Zombie
Shatner or zombie Bill Murray? No, I dropped
Bill
right
Murray
there.
Bill Murray wasn't a real zombie.
Wasn't he a zombie in Zombieland?
In the second one, but he was pretending to be a zombie in Zombieland.
Yes, but I'm just saying he was a zombie in the second one. So zombie Bill Murray or zombie Will Shatner.
Really see him in the second one, so I never saw him in the second one. I just know he's credited in there.
Okay.
So I can't compare because he wasn't a zombie. He was pretending to be.
Well, technically, Will Shatner was pretending to be too. I mean, he's not a zombie in real life.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? In the movie, he was a real zombie. You over here splitting hairs of technicalities.
I know my loopholes. I can get around things. I'm just asking you to make an answer.
William Shatner, since he was an actual zombie in a movie.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that.
My point stands true.
Yeah, okay, your point is very valid. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to ring the point out.
If we're going to go for which one I liked more in a zombie movie, Bill Murray, duh.
Okay.
Bill motherfucking Murray.
So Bill Murray over Will Shatner, but Will Shatner over Bill Murray because he was an actual zombie, not a pretend zombie.
Right.
Regardless of the fact that technically Bill Murray was an actual zombie in the second movie.
To the credit, yes.
To the credit.
To my sight.
To his credit, not to my visual cortex.
Those big ass SAT words.
So
visual cortex.
Who was your? So you say William Shatner was your favorite cameo in this film?
Yeah. Well, it's like, just because I loved watching him get his head split open. Okay. But if I had to go with my favorite cameo, it would probably be Danny Trejo.
I was going to say Danny Trejo myself. I like Danny Trejo the zombie.
Me too.
Though I do have an issue with Danny Trejo being considered the uber badass zombie over the Randy Couture zombie.
Oh, please. Danny Trejo would eat him for breakfast.
No.
I believe so.
Danny Trejo is intimidating looking. I will give you that. But if you take...
Have you not seen Machete?
Machete?
Have you not seen Machete?
But Randy Couture is Randy Couture in real life. Like he is like a fucking
MMA fighter?
UFC MMA fighter. He's a big name, like former champion.
And guess what? Danny Trejo would take him out with the machete.
Yeah, but that's acting.
He probably could do it. Well,
I'm gonna go ahead and bring back your bullshit with Bill Murray wasn't a real zombie and.
Well, I have to think about this because Danny Trejo has said that he does not do his own stunts. He's like, there's a reason stunt doubles are paid to be stunt doubles.
Right. So I'm just talking, if you take real life Randy Couture and you take real life Danny Trejo and you try to put him in a ring. I can give you an answer either way because I don't know who Randy Couture is. Danny's going to be like, stunt double? Stunt double? Where's my fucking... Cock. Oh, shit!
Stunt cock.
As much...
Wait, we're not talking about Orgasmo.
Oh, good lord. Fucking Matt. Okay. Trey Parker, Matt Stone. We got a film that we got to do by them. There's a film that I want to do by them. Not Orgasmo. Not Orgasmo.
Basketball?
Not Basketball. Cannibal the Musical.
They do. Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Never even heard of it.
One of their first. It's literally their first film. Cannibal the Musical.
You're gonna have to wait until me and my man live together again because he's the one who introduced me to those other movies. So if they did this movie, I'd have to watch it with him. That's if he hasn't seen it already.
That's fine. Well, wait till he visits. Say, hey, look, we got a movie to watch. It's from one of my favorite companies, Trauma Entertainment. Trauma. You've never heard of Trauma Entertainment? Trauma. No. Troma. Trauma Entertainment. No. The group that brought you such classics as Class of Nukem High, Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD, Surf Nazis Must Die, and, of course, the fucking Toxic Avenger. You're just giving me a big shrug. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're
talking about.
I got no idea what any of this shit is. You're saying words. All
talking about is all foreign to me.
And the words are tumbling out of your mouth, and they're on the floor, and it's a mess. It's like one of those things. It's like magnetic poetry, except for none of the words mean shit to me. You know, it's a jumble. Your poetry's fucking awful.
You're over here talking. I'm basically getting alphabet soup.
Attack of the Killer Condom, Poultrygeist, nothing. Poultrygeist.
I've seen one scene from that on YouTube. I've never seen the actual movie.
You haven't seen any of these? None of them?
No.
Not a single one?
Did you really say Attack of the Killer Condom?
Yes, Attack of the Killer Condom.
Wait, why am I shocked?
There is Arrow Entertainment Blu-ray 4K edition of that film. You've never seen it.
I'm going to answer this question the same way my face did. No, I didn't know there was a movie called Attack of the Killer Condom, but I shouldn't be shocked since I've seen the movie Teeth.
No, your face didn't say no. Your face looked at me and, what the fuck are you talking about? Attack of the Killer what? What?
My face, I was like, what the shit are you on?
Or we'll go with what the damn hell?
Oh, what in gay hell?
There you go. That's more like, yeah, there you go. I've heard you say that a few times. No, what the damn hell came from, what was that TV show with Emily Osment in it? Damn it. I can't remember.
You mean Oh My Damn?
Oh My No, somebody who said...
That's from Young and Hungry.
But I think she also said what the damn hell in that as well.
She said what the hell a lot, but Kim Whitley, she always said, oh my damn.
Oh my damn. No, I'm thinking what the damn hell. I'm going to have to look that up. I have no idea who quoted that, but you can look that up while okay, never mind. Romeo and Juliet, which is one of the movies we talked about the most on here, and it's because they hated me for making them watch it. They hated me with a passion for making them watch that.
Kind of funny. You said we talked about it a lot on here, and it's like, that was before I came on.
Yeah. If I made you watch it, you would look at me and go, Chris, go to hell.
Go to hell. You made me watch Thanksgiving.
How I Met Your Mother. What the damn hell came out of Allison Hannigan's mouth?
I was about to say, that wasn't Emily Osment.
No, that was
and I didn't watch How I Met Your Mother.
No, that was Allison Hannigan's thing. What the damn hell? So, okay.
Like, loved her and Buffy.
Okay, so I mixed up two people that have nothing to fucking do with each other. It's like I had said, who the fuck said "Oh my Lanta"?
Candace Cameron Bure?
Yes. I know who said it. But it's like if I had confused her with, Allison Hannigan or somebody else. Gellar. It's like people that have nothing to do with each other.
That would have been funny if you confused Candace Cameron Bure with Allison Hannigan. One person who's like, oh my Lanta, and then the other one who's like, this one time in band camp, I stuck my flute in my pussy.
Good Lord. No, she didn't say that, did she? No, wait.
No, Allison Hannigan's the Jesus freak. Wait, nope, that's Candace Cameron.
Oh, boy. That's the whole family, though. Like, that, their whole thing, the family's thing is Christianity, like, heavily.
A lot of people give shit to Candace Cameron because she wants to go tell stories through her religious belief and everything. I'm fine with it. Like, if that's what she wants to do, I've never heard her say she hates gay people or trans people or anything like that. It's like she just wants to do things that are true to her, and I am okay with that.
Well, see, the problem that I have with how they basically bash on even Kirk Cameron, the Camerons in general, like, you can't lump people all into the same category and say, you know what, Christians are all assholes. That's not how it is. No,
exactly.
There are people out there that will steamroll you with their religion and their beliefs, and there are people that want to share their beliefs but also respect you for who you are.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's like, if you don't like Candace Cameron because of what she believes in, don't fucking follow her. Don't watch her shit.
I think too many people have a tendency to focus on only the bad and then lump everybody else that is sort of similar into that same category. Like, you can't do that. You can't just hate an entire group based off of the handful that are, pieces of shit. They say one bad apple spoils the bunch.
I was just about to say that. It should not be that way.
No, one bad apple does not spoil the bunch. That's a bad term. One bad apple does not spoil the bunch. You got a bad apple, and you take him, remove him from the bunch. Just separate him, put him over there.
It's like when you got bread. Some of it has mold on it, so you dig deeper in to find the ones that don't, when you don't feel like going to the store at that moment.
Right. I don't know. I'm just... okay. We gotta get back to the movie.
Okay.
Gotta get back to the movie.
Back to Range 15. We're over here
Range 15.
I mean, the way we got to there, though, it's like Poltergeist, Attack of Killer Condoms, Candace Cameron Bure.
Look, there are a lot of like trauma movies. I wanted to have a like segment or a podcast once a month where we dived into some random fucking movie from the Trauma catalog, because Trauma has some of the best of the worst films out there, like Killer Nerd and Bride of Killer Nerd, which both are movies that look like they were completely done on a camcorder in somebody's back room.
Oh God.
They were so bad they were good. So bad.
You say that sometimes, and sometimes a movie is just so bad that it's bad.
You've got to understand that I'm that guy. You've met me. You're slowly learning that I love, like, everything.
Yeah, you'll find something to love about everything.
This movie has a lot to love about it. There's some things that I questioned. I went, okay, yeah. I mean, there were a lot of jokes that I went, okay. Yeah, you went there, huh? Okay. But for the most part, for a film that was basically made by a bunch of people who are not necessarily actors to begin with,
yeah,
I actually can't say that. I mean, because you're saying that Vincent Vargas went on to be in The Mayans, right? Yeah. Matt Best has a whole YouTube thing going on, so they've been practicing the acting craft for a while. But these are veterans. These are guys that served our country. You know, they've been big in different things one way or the other, but this is an independent film that they basically funded themselves with only $25,000 of their own money to start with.
Well, I mean, like I said, some of them looking good was enough to keep me watching.
You know? Like,
and then getting to the end, like where I'm seeing, Tim Kennedy just stripped down, I'm just like, y'all could take away the censorship. Right. I've already seen one guy get his dick ripped off.
You know? That oh god, I'm never gonna forget that moment either. Just guy falling, just fountain of blood squirting from his crotch. Stop squirting! Kill me now! Kill me now! No, we're gonna wait for you to turn into a zombie. Then we're gonna feed your own dick to you.
And then the thing came back and just like started rubbing his dick all over his face, in his mouth.
I loved.
They're like, oh, never mind, I'm gonna kill you.
I loved Ron Jeremy's little pop-up in this movie, where he's like, "Oh, the Indiegogo campaign went so well they could even buy people." You can leave now. Oh. Thank you.
God, Ron Jeremy. It's like I don't see how he was ever in porn. I don't, because he's not an attractive guy. I'm sitting here thinking the bitches who he had to fuck got paid a lot of money. But, I mean, for the longest time, he's one of the highest paid porn stars.
He was also, you can tell, he had the right equipment to work with, but he was also that guy, if you put him against, like, Pete Holmes or some of the other guys from the time who were well-built, you're taking Ron Jeremy and you're basically putting him in a situation saying any guy can get the girl. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt about Ron Jeremy when he was in porn. Like, that's basically...
I'm like, some guys shouldn't get the girl.
It was the everyman. That was that guy. Basically, he the reason why he was so popular, the reason why he got paid so much, is because you're selling that any guy could get the porn star.
Yeah.
Right? Even the Italian hedgehog. Any guy can get the porn star.
The Italian hedgehog?
Go ahead and go watch. Have you ever watched a scene with him in it?
With Ron Jeremy?
Yes.
I think he was on one of my 80s tapes that I watched once.
That's not what I asked. Have you ever watched a scene with him in it?
Yeah, because he happened to be on that tape.
Okay, if you've ever seen him in the Buff, you understand
to get to the part with Peter North.
Why they used to call him the hedgehog.
I don't remember that scene. I think I blocked it out for good reason.
Okay, you're mentally blocking out Ron Jeremy. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. But
like I said, I was just trying to get through that scene to get to Peter North, because Peter North was built and had a nice dick, and he's the sperminator.
In spite of how problematic Ron Jeremy might be in this particular instance in time, he was once like a pop culture icon. He was in a lot of different stuff. A lot of different movies, just cameoing as himself.
I think he's a funny guy, because I've seen him in as a cameo funny guy, and he's a funny actor. He can make people laugh, in that, or when he was in a Bart Baker video parody of Taylor Swift, I think.
I believe he was even dancing in that video that I'm Sexy and I Know It.
I don't remember that video.
He was in it. You'll see what I mean. Just go watch it.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I will.
Just do it. Do it. Do it.
I'll do it right now. No, I won't.
Just do it. I don't know. We'll get back to the movie.
We were still in parts of the movie.
We were in parts of the movie. We were talking about Ron Jeremy in this movie, I think
funny, even though he was in there so little, like literally. But here's what I say about like when people complain about getting bit parts in movies and stuff.
Right.
Like a big picture is made up of small details.
I mean, he was in it. That's all that matters. He was there. He had a line.
And he was memorable.
He had a line. 2 lines, actually.
Actually, you know, I think he had more lines at that point, more than Eliza did.
We have okay, look, we got to move on. We have officially talked about his role in this movie at least 10 times the length of the amount of time he was spent in this movie. So, I don't even think what I just said was words. The words were coming out of my mouth and they were in the wrong order. We talked about him longer than his actual cameo in this movie. We spent more time on him.
But he's memorable.
He is. He's definitely memorable. Not necessarily for the best reasons, but he's memorable.
Okay, he was memorable for being funny.
He was funny.
We all know he was in there because he was a porn star.
We're talking about memorable in this movie. Memorable in this movie. Like in this movie.
Yeah, he was memorable in this movie.
That was funny. That was like, it was all in the same area too, because they broke the fourth wall a couple times in that thing, and they ended it with her like, "Can I go along? Because I haven't talked a lot." You know.
You know, a lot of the funny parts happened like right around that area. Popcorn. Can I go along since I haven't had many lines?
Ross Patterson's initial Gene, his first moment entering the mess hall to come get the whiskey. Just that whole montage of everybody staring at him.
I was over it.
Just, well, I mean, he played it up. He hammed it the fuck up.
The fact that it's not just the women looking, well, because most of that was just men just drooling over him.
It's okay. You love me. That doesn't make you gay. That just means you're... What did he say?
I don't remember.
Empathetic or sensitive or something to that nature. I don't know.
I think he said sensitive. Just means you're sensitive.
It just means you're sensitive. That voice. Oh my God. That voice.
I mean, that voice. If he used that voice and put a mask on him, he could be Batman.
That's where I know him from. I was fucking ripping my hair out trying to figure out where I know Ross Patterson from. Okay? Gene. The guy that plays Gene. Have you ever watched the movie The New Guy?
Yeah.
He was the fucking bully in that movie. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, I know this guy from somewhere.
Not his name.
Why do I know his face? What?
He always plays douches.
Well, yeah, because, you know, he has that face. He just has that face.
I mean, he could play a sweet guy in a Hallmark movie without a 27-minute porn.
I don't think he could. I really don't think that he could. He would play the douchey guy that the sweet guy has to get over to get to.
He plays the douchey guy who ends up making the woman feel forgotten and unwanted that the other sweet guy made her feel, and that's why she leaves the douche guy.
I'm kind of a douche. Yes, you are. Go. Leave now. Ugh.
I am a major douche.
Douche. Anyway. Douche. Well, we're gonna... I was thinking touche. You know, but douche, yeah. Okay, you know what I was going with for. You knew what I was going for. Okay.
I did.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready?
What am I ready for?
Mary Daig, the double amputee actress, final scene in the movie, where out of nowhere she just gets in the scene and has, for some reason, blades on her stumps. Just going at the zombie.
She's duct taped on there?
Just duct taped onto her stumps. She's beating the shit out of the zombie to save...
They were so flimsy. I'm like, that didn't even look realistic like they would stay on, because when she got done, they were so flimsy.
I'm just...
It's like, I liked her coming in that way, because I was like, yes, queen. Proof you ain't gotta have thumbs to fuck up a zombie.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. Is it Clinton? Was it Clinton? I'm trying to remember who it was. There was one guy. Who was the guy that had the blow-up doll stuck to his dick the entire time?
I don't know. I was over that fucker. I was done with him in the very first scene. I was done with him. Like, I'm just like, come on. Oh, God, this is so fucking stupid.
You weren't moved to emotion by the tears that he spilled over the love of his doll? No, I didn't glue my dick into this. It's Velcro.
Yeah, I needed help.
I wasn't going out to find something to get her off of me. I just wanted to take her on a date. To Walmart?
Yeah, I was over him. I was done with him. I was like, this fucker needed help, and this characterization was just stupid.
No.
I get it. The movie was stupid in general. Like, stupid funny. But that was just not even funny to me. I'm just like, okay. It was funny in the first, like, in the jail scene. Like, when they were in jail type thing. But then he held it through the whole movie. I was like, oh, God, fuck this shit.
Counterpoint, he was the most funny part of the film. He was one of the funniest things in the film. He was one of the funniest things in the film because he reminds me of Garfield. I'm waiting. Okay. You're waiting? Yeah, Garfield. Do you know why he reminds me of Garfield?
No.
I'll give you a guess.
Last time I checked, Garfield did not have a blow-up doll problem.
Okay, that's not... No, he does not have a blow-up doll problem. However, can you guess why I would say that he reminds me of Garfield?
Again, no.
You're not even going to hazard a guess?
Is it because they got the same mustache?
If you've ever watched the old cartoon show, there's a show called Garfield and Friends, right?
Yeah, I've watched it.
And I can't remember the name of the duck for the fucking life of me now, and it bothers me. But there is a duck.
I don't remember that either.
There is a duck in the show, and he carries, at all times, an inner tube around his waist that also has a duck head that he makes all the same facial expressions as he does the entire movie or the entire show, right? And for some reason, he just reminded me of this duck.
He doesn't remind me of that duck.
But instead of the duck just having an inner tube around his waist, his dick is just stuck in the back of his little friend's skull. Just.
I was just over this character. Like, after the jail scene, it wasn't funny anymore.
That's all speculation until you jam your dick in it. You didn't like that line?
I did. That's why I'm laughing now.
Everything is speculation until you jam your dick in it.
It's like, nope. I could say I agree.
I mean, that's a fair point.
Based on what I am, I could almost agree if I wasn't a total bottom. But still.
I mean, it's a fair point, right?
It is. But I was still over it by the end of the jail scene.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Only because it's like, I get a running gag, but my running gag doesn't need to be visual and there all the time.
I would say that... Oh, dear. There's my computer. That's my computer just chiming off. Hey, guess what? There's something happening over here. It's Wade Duck, by the way. Wade Duck. The cowardly duck.
That's funny, because they wade through the water.
Right.
That's just funny. Like, I never realized that. That's kind of punny and a little clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little clever.
Well, Garfield and Friends was a show that my kids loved. Like, we had the DVDs and everything.
I loved it. I don't remember all the characters' names. I don't remember all the stories, but as a kid, I loved Garfield.
I think their part was like U.S. Acres or something. It had like Orson Pig and Bo Sheep.
Yeah.
Bo Sheep. Little Bo Sheep.
It's also one of those things of like, because of Garfield, I always wanted spaghetti.
Yeah.
Lasagna. He wanted lasagna, but he had a plate of lasagna. But he had a plate of spaghetti.
Hey, well, 6 of one, half a dozen the other. A good plate of spaghetti is almost as good as lasagna. It's like deconstructed lasagna.
Yeah, but it's also because of Popeye. I always wanted spinach.
Yeah, not me. I like spinach now, but as a kid, fuck spinach. No.
I was a kid who did not mind my greens, but don't give me squash of any type.
I can eat spinach like raw, but have you ever seen cooked spinach? It's like fucking snot.
Yeah, of course.
It's like wet snot.
No. Oysters are like snot. Like, again, I think I've said it once at least on this podcast. I do not know the first person who opened up an oyster, a mussel, a clam, or whatever, and like just opened it up and said, this snot rocket looks tasty.
All that is the tongue of the clam. It's just like sucking the tongue out of somebody's head.
I don't do that.
No?
I am not a Mortal... I might like to cosplay as Melina, but I am not an actual Mortal Kombat character. Fatalities are not my thing.
You know, I wonder if is there like a Mortal Kombat character that the fatality is them sucking the tongue out of somebody's head?
Kinda, sorta. And it kind of funny. It's Melina.
Kiss me. Yeah.
And in one of her brutalities from Mortal Kombat 1, she basically takes her tongue, wraps it around their head, pulls them close, and basically munches off their bottom jaw and tongue.
Pull me closer, tiny dancer.
Oh, yes, Britney Spears.
What?
Britney Spears and Elton John remade that song. I just wanted to see your face when I said that.
Oh.
It was Elton John's idea.
That is pain. That is pain.
It was Elton John's idea.
Oh, that bitch.
I hope you're talking about Elton.
Elton, yes. I am talking about Elton. Who else would I be talking about?
Because it's not that bitch, it's Britney, bitch.
Oh, like I said, I don't need to call Britney a bitch because Britney did it for herself. She's just like, I'm Britney, and it's Britney, bitch. That has nothing to do with me. I didn't call her a bitch. She did it to herself. I am just agreeing with your own sentiment. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Heffalia.
I'm still fairly certain that song Crazy Bitch was made for her.
I'm pretty sure that was made way before her.
Oh, I'm sure that she still existed around then. I think that was Crazy Bitch.
She wasn't born until 1981.
Well, I think you're thinking of the wrong Crazy Bitch.
I was thinking, oh, you're crazy, bitch, but you fuck so good, I'm on top of it.
Yeah, that's not that's like a 2000 song. She was definitely, like, in her prime by that point. Said? Am I wrong?
I don't know. Who sung that? Buck Cherry?
I believe so, yes. We're trying to figure out if she existed when Crazy Bitch came out. Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry. That was 14 years ago. It was a song that came out 14 years ago. Right. 2005. And if she was born in the 80s, she was definitely at least...
That song came out a year after her In the Zone record released.
See, there you go.
Which is her fourth studio album.
Right.
And in her next studio album, she said, it's Britney, bitch.
Right. So she could still have been the crazy bitch. You don't know. You have no idea.
According to her memoir.
According to her...
time, she could have been.
Okay. And
by that time she had her abortion and everything and was going through some stuff.
It wasn't her that inspired that. It was one of her best friends at the time that inspired that particular song, Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton's sex tape inspired Crazy Bitch.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. It says right here, Crazy Bitch is the sixth single by American hard rock band Buck Cherry, inspired by the infamous Paris Hilton sex tape One Night in Paris.
Oh my God.
So it wasn't Britney that was inspired. It was just Britney adjacent. You know, it's just one of the many people that the paparazzi was obsessed with trying to get caught getting out of a car without underwear on. Why was that a thing? Why was that a thing?
Because Britney was going down the crazy train.
That's not Crazy Train though. And that has nothing to... women go commando.
There's plenty of women who go to the club in their dresses without panties on.
Women, men, they all go commando. It doesn't mean that person getting out of the car without underwear on happened to have been fucking nuts at the time. I think everybody was just obsessed. We all want to see this person naked, and the closest we're going to get is some quick shot that's blurry, and the paparazzi are trying to clarify, is she wearing underwear? Is she not wearing underwear? Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck.
Was she going... It was before she went crazy, because...
That was before, the shaving of the head and the...
Because the shaving of the head and everything, that was right around, like, late 2006, early 2007. That photo actually might have came around 2005 when Crazy Bitch came out.
Right? It's entirely possible. But they were they were trying to catch everybody getting out of their car without underwear on. Like, let's take upskirt shots. What the fuck?
It's like, damn.
I don't envy famous people at all. Like, at all. The amount of privacy that they don't have. Especially if, like, there's nothing out in the public. Like, people that are supposed to be kind of have, like, a pristine reputation for the most part. Yes, Britney made some songs that were sexually questionable. But that doesn't mean that you need to try to catch her on the fly naked somewhere.
Well, it's like, at that time, because I did listen to her memoir 3 times.
Yep.
Just to make sure I got the actual details, because I was working at the time, so somebody spoke to me, I didn't hear everything. But It's like, during that time, she was probably going through, she said she was still going through the breakup with Justin, like she wasn't completely in her right mind, she didn't deal with it properly. and like the whole abortion part. So it's like, she basically to battle Justin's shit, she basically became overtly sexual.
I want to say that has nothing to do with Justin. I don't think that's what she may claim that it had to do with Justin, but I think about this for just a minute. Justin, Christina, Brittany all have the same problem that Lindsay and Miley and several other actors and actresses had. It's the Disney problem. It's the Disney problem. And when they sign these clauses, these contracts that basically say your career is null and void if you step outside of these guidelines. And so as soon as they are no longer under the contractual umbrella of Disney, all of a sudden it is full fucking hoe time. Like, I'm going to go 90 to 100 miles an hour in the fucking opposite direction of the pristine reputation I had when I was doing the Mickey Mouse Club, Hannah Montana, what the fuck ever I happened to have been doing at the time for this particular corporation.
Well, you also got to look. Okay, Brittany, when she started going overtly sexual type shit, she was like 19, like between 19 and 21.
Right.
Justin broke up with her by text while she was doing the Dark Child Overprotected remix video.
Right.
And that was in 2002. Broke up with her over text while she was doing that, so she had to sit there and finish recording, like whatever she had to record, face-wise, everything else, and then try to deal with the problem. She didn't deal with the problem. She immediately went back to what do you call it when you start sleeping with other people?
Hoeing around. That's about it. We'll just call it that. When you start sleeping,
why we got to shame?
I'm not shaming anybody. I'm not shaming anyone because men hoe around too. Hoe around too.
Rebounding.
We'll call it rebounding. You call it what you want to call it. I'll call it what I want to call it.
I'll still call it hoeing around. I've hoed around. I ain't gonna lie.
It's hoeing around. It's Christmas time.
Yeah, bring Christmas. I gave Christmas a lot. Anyway, call me Cindy Lou Who.
Right.
But yeah, she was like
Cindy Ho
with Colin Farrell and some other people.
But
she didn't really realize, like, she didn't understand why these labels were putting her like as this innocent teen, because she said she was sleeping around at 14. She wasn't having babies. She started sleeping at.
No, that was up to her sister.
Yep.
Jamie Lynn. Sorry, Jamie, you went the wrong way. How did you become the bad sister? How did that work?
I'm just wondering, like, Jamie Lynn sitting here, like, she was doing some type of thing, and she's like, I'm probably best known as an actress and singer. And I'm like, no, bitch, you're best known for being Britney Spears' younger sister.
You're best known for going on, you were on Zoe 101 until the day you became pregnant and they fired you. That's what you're known for. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's not that anybody really liked watching Zoe 101 when they were growing up. They remember Zoe 101 and went back and watched it when they realized, wait, what did she fucking do? She got knocked up? What? How'd this happen? And then they go watch the show and they go, I don't get what they see in her.
I can't believe they made a reunion movie.
Did they make it? They did, didn't they?
I think Zoe 102 or something like that.
I thought they were like trying to bring it back for like a TV show. Like they were trying to bring back the show.
I think they might have been trying to bring it back, but since Jamie Lynn has already been under the fire between her and Britney Spears, no one was watching that shit.
I wasn't watching that shit when it began. Like, and I had shows that avidly. I had kids that avidly watched those shows on Nickelodeon and on Disney, but my kids did not like that show at all. It was like, no, I'm good. Why? It's just it's not good. It's boring, not fun.
I've watched shows in those eras, and if I had to give it between Disney and Nickelodeon, I would say Disney had the better actors as far as children actors.
I think Disney also had the deeper pockets.
I mean, fair.
Disney had much deeper pockets. Nickelodeon was there, right? But their pockets weren't as deep as the Disney machine was. So they could put better production value into their shows.
I mean, but as far as, like, cartoons go, it's like, yeah, I watched Disney to watch the Little Mermaid cartoon series and Aladdin cartoon series and Darkwing Duck, Gummy Bears, Tailspin. I watched those. But, I mean, I was still watching Rugrats, Real Monsters. Didn't watch any of those other shows like Ed, and Eddie or things like that.
No. You didn't watch
I think I watched Hey Arnold.
I definitely watched Hey Arnold. That was interesting. I liked Arnold. Rugrats.
I didn't.
Did you not watch the Rugrats?
I mentioned Rugrats.
Did you mention Rugrats?
I did. It was the first one I mentioned from the Nickelodeon side.
What about Real Monsters?
Real Monsters.
Yeah.
I said both of those.
You said both of those? Did I zone out for a minute there? Did my brain just check out of the building?
Either that or my internet said, "Fuck you, Piper."
No, you probably... I do that all the time. Where, like, somebody is having a conversation with me. This is the ADHD in my head. Somebody will be having a conversation with me, and then I'll start saying things like, I was just talking about that. And I'm like, wait, what? It's like, so I must have, like, mentally picked up on some of that. Like, it was, like, revolving around my head like some diseased little, ring around my Saturn planet of a head. And a couple comets hit, but I didn't pick it up as a conversation.
Well, it's also, like, one of those things, like, my internet might be like, wait, have you seen the second Kingsman movie?
The second Kingsman movie? I've seen all of them.
My internet right now might be acting like Elton John and saying, "Fuck you, Piper."
You said second Kingsman movie, and my brain went to a different movie altogether. We did a series, like one of the first things that we did, when I was just working with Seth by himself. I'm not sure. Did you run across Seth while we were recording? Like, were you there for any of the early stuff? I think this is before we started bringing other guests on.
I didn't even know you were doing one until you told me about it the first time you brought me on.
Oh, good Lord. That was, season 4, maybe?
That would have been the season before this one.
No, you. I think you were on in season 4. This is season 5, yeah, so season 4.
Season 3.
So I think so. I think maybe 2 seasons back you were here. The end of season 3. It was long after Seth had left. I think Omar and Nico were still both part of the podcast, and then we had a rotation of a couple of other people that kind of sat down and did things.
But I came in twice.
And now we're looking for more people to work with. I want to set up a couple of things. I know somebody wants to, I think Sarah wants to sit down and do the Buffy episode with us, if I'm not mistaken. And
From 2 Chicks?
Yes. And we're going to do...
our finale episode.
A Life Less Ordinary.
Just so y'all know, now y'all know, Buffy is going to be our final episode of the movie.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer is how we're going to be ending season 6.
But there is a reason for that.
Well, we'll get to the reason. We don't talk about the reason right now. We'll get to the reason when the reason comes up. Okay? Because we're still preparing for the reason. That being said, I think we've gone completely off the rails. We're no longer talking about Range 15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tiptoe us into the little thing that happens in the middle of our podcast where we let our friends speak for themselves. And when we come back, we'll do something. I don't know what we're doing yet. Because I don't know if they're already coming up with a sequel to this movie. So I don't know if I want to make my own sequel or just do a completely different... Like, I think I might bust out the cards. And we'll do a completely different pitch storm. You know what?
This is where Queen Latifah's diamond butt plug belonged.
This is where the diamond butt plug actually the diamond butt plug belonged in the Eiffel Tower scene. That's where the diamond butt plug belonged.
I say it belonged in this movie.
Wait a minute, we didn't have to do it that way, you fuckers! And a diamond butt plug. Well, if you just put a diamond at the end of the whiskey bottle, there you go. Just a faux diamond. And
oh my God.
Now for the advertisements.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
We are the hosts of the Strange and Beautiful Book Club. On the Strange and Beautiful Book Club, Matt and I share our adventures discovering forgotten movies, television shows, and books in the science fiction, horror, and fantasy genre.
Not necessarily good movies, though.
Oh, certainly not. We love a good, bad movie. The quirkier, the funnier, the more campy, the better.
But we talk about some classics, too.
Of course, we can't ignore our favorites like Highlander or the 1990s vampire cop television show, Forever Night, which we are currently covering one episode at a time.
As if I could forget.
Oh, hush. You love every minute of it.
Come join us every week as we discover, discuss, and dissect fantasy, horror, and sci-fi genre classics. New episodes release every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So remember, sometimes the strangest things are the most beautiful, too.
So be who you are and love what you love. Until next time, friends.
Bye.
This is Two Chicks Talking Flicks, where we review movies. We try to dig deeper and go more in depth.
And profound for me.
Yeah, for me, I'm just like, what? We even bring up relevant topics.
I remember from Punky Brewster that you don't go inside the fridge.
And we're here to have those tough conversations. Mm-hmm.
And she was wearing a white dress, which
was yellow.
Huh?
It was yellow. So if this sounds like the podcast for you, please enjoy. New episodes every Tuesday.
All right, thank you for sticking around and listening to the advertisements in the middle of our podcast. And after we took a few moments and we set out a couple of choices for a pitch storm, and we had a very lengthy conversation about toxic gas. We did. We had a nice little... We won't get into it. Let's just say I'm peeling the paint in my own room right now. That being said, that I didn't need to tell anybody that I let one rip in the middle of the... So while people are listening, just keep that in mind, guys. While you were listening to the lovely voices of the people that are advertising their podcasts in the middle of our own podcast, I was tooting the angry horn. That's what I was doing.
But what started it was I tooted my angry horn, and I didn't think you could hear it. But apparently my microphone picks up everything.
Your microphone picks up all that shit. All of it.
Almost literally.
Almost literally. Okay. Like, if you need to go, we can pause this again. If you need to run off, I mean, you didn't uncork something.
I fart. I don't have to shit.
Okay. Well, you said almost literally.
Almost literally. A fart isn't almost shit.
Yeah, it's fart is close to a shart, which is much closer to a shit than a fart.
True. I just had to puff.
Oh my god, I sharted. No, I didn't. I'm trying to remember the movie. There's a movie. I'm trying to remember that Philip Seymour Hoffman accidentally sharts. And I can't remember the name of the movie for the life of me. I think he was like playing basketball or something. Alright, I'll have to look it up after we're done here. Look, that's going to be a weird Google search. What movie did Philip Seymour Hoffman accidentally shart himself? Makes me wonder if he actually did it in the film, or like was like he like did it in the middle of production and was just like, I'm going to play this off as a joke, and then he walks off to his trailer. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. You know. All right. So I had you pick from 4 different pitch storm ideas, so pitches for different movies. And our movie, the one we're going to start with, a bunch of kids looking for adventure during a summer vacation must win the love of a handsome prince before the clock strikes midnight. So
we're watching Cinderella?
No, this is a lot fucking weirder than Cinderella, because this is a bunch of kids. So is the prince gonna be also one of the kids?
I hope so. Because if not, that's just weird, and we're heading in some awful territory.
So we say kids. Kids can be... We're going to make this not creepy, because this sounds very creepy right now. Okay?
Let's put them at the age of 16.
Let's put them at the age, like, 16, 17. Like, we're talking, like, upper high schoolers, maybe juniors in high school. And the prince, so it's a group of female friends who are all going out to have an adventure. Basically, they're looking for adventure for summer vacation, and it turns out that an exchange student is going to be attending their school next year. And they find out that he is basically a prince from another country who is being sent to America to learn America's ways, blah, 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 all that bullshit. You know. I want you to learn what these capitalist pigs are like, so when you come back home, you can warmonger with me. I don't know what...
he's Russian.
Yes. Yes, it is Prince Putin. No, I don't think that works.
That was my asshole. If
you say Russian, but it could be any one of... There's a lot of countries that kind of follow the same kind of accent.
Maybe
because remember,
Slavic.
They were all part of the USSR, right? Before the USSR dissolved, the United Soviet Socialist Republic, and then now we have Russia, and we have all these tiny little countries below that Russia was like, hey guys, can you come back up here? We were all together at one point. Let's have a great big hug. And that's not how that works. That's not. There's no great big hugs.
You talk about hugs, I think about Austin Powers.
We will not get into the political campaign currently going on overseas with back and forth between the two places. We're not going to even mention the two. We already mentioned one of the two places. We won't mention the rest of it. That being said, the note on here we have teenage girls all around 16, 17 years old, prince from another country, possibly from some Slavic nation that nobody really...
16 to 17.
We were once part of the USSR too, but nobody recognizes us because it's a little speck of a country. It's like the Rhode Island in the middle of Europe.
Oh, wait, what does this new card say?
The new card says, this is the director's notes. Director says, needs more woodland creatures. Needs more woodland
I can work
creatures.
with this.
So I feel like I want to say that something happens here. So this young man who comes to the school, he is a foreign exchange student. We never explain where he comes from. Never. Okay? You kind of get an idea of where he comes from. But I think that, and bear with me while I say this, I want to rip off Disney.
I wasn't going to rip off Disney. I was going to rip off something else.
I want to rip off Disney, but make it... This is going to be a hard R movie. Okay?
Oh, Jesus.
This is going to be a hard R movie. I'm not saying anybody's getting naked, but there's going to be a lot of cussing. There's going to be a lot of fighting. There's going to be a lot of shit in this movie. All right? Everything that you can do without pulling the nudity card out.
Well, we can't pull the nudity card out because they're 16 and 17.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that the 16 or 17-year-old girl is played by a 16 or 17-year-old. They are portraying those.
You do that all the time.
Yeah, it's weird and creepy. We're not going to go there. What we are going to do is we are going to give this prince from a foreign country a magical power. Now, we say it needs more woodland creatures, correct? What has woodland creatures constantly in it? Disney movies, right?
Snow White.
Snow White, Cinderella. Well, Cinderella got dressed by fucking woodland creatures. You know, Cinderella, and the birds are putting her apron on, and, you know, literally, she couldn't
forget the mice made her fucking dress.
Cinderella? Yeah, right, and Lucifer.
Why is it Lucifer and Bruno and the horse didn't talk?
I have no idea. Maybe they just didn't... It's only the woodland creatures that Cinderella liked. She didn't like the cat because the cat was part of the stepmother and the stepsisters.
But she did like Bruno, and she liked the horse. And the chickens.
Yeah, but wasn't the horse once one of her servants? No, that's right. No, the horse was... The horse...
became like her footman.
Something to that nature. Yeah, it was something weird. The
horse became the footman, the mice became the horses.
Which was weird. You see why that's weird, right?
I do.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But maybe the godmother did that because the horse was so old.
Wait, did Cinderella actually hear the mice talk?
Yeah, because at one point they start yelling, Cinderella, Cinderella, over here, kind of thing, when like they were trying to get the key to her and everything.
Right, but I think they communicated with her, but I don't think they actually spoke to her. They spoke back and forth, but I don't think they actually spoke to her.
I don't know. I mean, that whole
in the same way
she
spoke to them.
She picked up the cage with Gus, and she told Jack to go talk to him, kind of thing.
Okay. So
I don't know if it's one of the things like we understood what they were saying, but she couldn't. She just talked to them like we talk to our animals.
I want each of these friends to end up being an archetype of different Disney princesses in one way or another. So they're blatant rip-offs of Disney property.
All right, so since you always got to have a red-headed one, we definitely have Ariel.
We have Ariel, yes. Here's the thing. They don't become these archetypes until after each of them have had... basically, Prince Boy, he's a little bit of a player. But every time he kisses one of them, they become an archetype of a Disney character.
I could take it one step further.
Right, okay.
We were talking about one of these... Is it the girls have to find a prince to marry before midnight, or the prince needs to marry one of them by midnight?
A bunch of kids looking for adventure during summer vacation must win the love of a prince before the clock strikes midnight. So basically...
you said you want to take it rated R.
Right.
So, what if, he goes on a date with each of them. Once he kisses them, if they're not the one, they're murdered. By the way, they probably would have been killed in the Disney movie. Like, maybe Ariel's not the one, but once he kisses her, she becomes Ariel. Maybe her throat is ripped out, like Ariel's voice was.
She can't speak. My thought was this. So they basically have all the characteristics of the Disney princess while maintaining their own attitude within the film. So they're still themselves, but they have basic characteristics and flaws of those characters. So like with you, what you said, with Ariel, you can go one way or the other. You can literally make her a fish on land, or you could take her voice like her voice was taken from her in the film. You know, and you must find love or whatever to be able to get your voice back. If you don't win the love of the prince, you don't get your voice back.
Okay, so what about the girl who's basically the Cinderella archetype? She's just abused at home? Okay,
so what would be Cinderella's archetype is that she is the maid, basically the maid. She was a maid to her step-parents.
She's an abusive parent.
She ended up with abusive parents, but also the trade-off is that she can talk with woodland creatures and control them. Basically, she can get them to do her will. Snow White, she is suddenly being followed around by a bunch of little people. Like, all of a sudden, she is just being followed around by these guys who just... Okay, go ahead.
I have another...
No?
What if we brought a Merida type in here? And, like, these girls are trying to find... they have to kiss a prince or win the love of a prince by midnight. But the Merida character is a lesbian and is trying to come in between them.
Wait, say that again?
She is a type... Okay, Merida's a type, I shoot from my own hand.
The one from Brave, right.
Right. So it's like, this character is the lesbian type, doesn't need a man, but she's trying to come in between the girls because she's got a crush on the rest of the girl group.
I want to say it has to be someone specific. We'll have her focusing on somebody specific. So everybody has their own thing that makes it so that they each of them get a kiss from him. They all manage to kiss him once, but they have to win his heart to be able to break the curse that's on all of them. So you're talking about winning the heart of a player, right?
Okay, never mind. We don't need the Merida type.
Right. Well, I mean, we can have her, but she would basically be the one that's constantly trying to cock block one of them. So she's got
a fixation on one of the other girls.
Just one of the other girls, and she's not trying to win this guy's hand. She kisses him only to realize that she doesn't even like guys. This is like her first kiss. She's like, "Oh my god, that was fucking disgusting," and then she realizes, "Fuck, I'm in love with my best friend." And that's...
Oh my god, I'm just picturing her kissing the guy, and then she just pulls a Lucille Ball. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that one I love. I like that one. So she basically is just completely disgusted with the kiss. She realizes after that kiss, that's what brings the realization of, oh my god, I'm in love with my best friend. So I want to say she's in love with the Rapunzel character.
I like that.
The problem with the Rapunzel character, when she kisses the guy, she gets narcolepsy. She keeps falling asleep.
Why is she falling asleep?
Rapunzel is the one. Isn't Rapunzel the one that? No, that's the one that lets down your hair. I'm sorry. She falls in love with Sleeping Beauty. So the Sleeping Beauty character gets narcolepsy, keeps falling down, falling asleep. You know.
And the kiss doesn't wake her.
I want to say
puts her to sleep.
The one blonde girl that's really, really into her hair, she's like constantly, preening her hair and everything. She ends up being the Rapunzel character with miles of hair, and she just has to drag it around. Every time she cuts it, it grows back. She's like, fuck.
God, okay, I'm just going to say it. That just reminds me of the 10th Kingdom. It's like the hair is not beautiful. It's like she's not so happy with her hair once it starts growing and everything. It's like it becomes a nuisance.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that these things that these princesses had within the film that might have been their strength end up being absolute nuisances here. So the one thing that's constantly bothering, I don't want to say. I'm not going to say we're going to go away from the little people. I know that we had Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. I want to say the biggest.
Get rid of Snow White.
No, keep Snow White. But suddenly, her grandmother is continually trying to poison her. Like her grandmother is literally trying to kill her the entire movie.
Oh God, our grandma. Our Snow White character is Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
I think that okay. So we have Snow White's grandmother constantly trying to kill her in the film. We have
every time the Ariel character kisses the prince, Like when she kisses him, she gets strep throat.
No, the first time she kisses him, she immediately loses her voice. So she
gets laryngitis.
She gets laryngitis, can't talk above a whisper anymore. And she hates it so much because she's like lead of the Glee Club, and now she can't sing.
I mean, that does fit her.
But I want to say at some point, all the girls are trying to, outside of, what is her name from Brave again? Merida. I never watched Brave all the way through. My kids didn't like it.
I'd say it's a good watch though. I mean, just to hear her say, "Me mom's a bear."
But outside of that particular character, all of the girls are trying to win the heart of the prince, and I think it devolves into two different things. The Merida character eventually gets so tired of Sleeping Beauty's focus on the prince that she's decided she's going to kill the prince.
Ooh.
So she's going to take out her competition. The other problem is now you have all the other girls who are focused on each other, like, if I can't have him, you're not going to have him. So now their adventure is literally this blood sport across, I want to say this is a beach adventure. So this is a beach thing. They were going to have this bit of fun at the beach. They basically live in a town that's coastal, right? So they're basically, we're going to have this whole thing, like, this summer is full of guys, blah 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 blah. Now they're all focused on one guy, and now we have one epic night where they're all just trying to fucking take each other out. Last one standing.
I think we have 6 girls in here.
We have 6 girls.
I mean, you brought in, Sleeping Beauty.
We brought in Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Cinderella,
Merida, Rapunzel, and Ariel.
Yep. So we have 6 girls.
We have 6 girls.
6 girls and 1 Prince Charmless.
Well, it's like we've already got 2 girls basically out of the situation, except for Merida wants to kill the prince now, and Sleeping Beauty's asleep somewhere.
I feel like we end up with 2 more princesses that the girls don't know about. Because he basically went through the group of girls first. All the friends first. And we have 2 other princesses nobody even knows about because he's decided, okay, well, I'm done with these girls. I'm going to go off and go do my own thing now, He realized they were a group of friends and he turned them all against each other.
Oh, God, I know. I realized what we just did.
What did we do?
White cast everybody.
We don't have to white cast.
I was just thinking maybe we should bring in Tiana and Mulan.
Well, no, see here, we didn't white cast everybody because we didn't cast anybody. We're just saying that they end up with the flaws, that these things that were characteristics that were positive within the movie, the movies themselves end up being major flaws within this movie that they have to basically fight against. I didn't say that any of these girls. The only person that is going to end up being white is Snow White. I'm just saying. I mean, Snow White. The whole purpose to Snow White is that
she's white.
Girl white as snow. She might as well be an albino.
God.
Well, if it's white as snow, then the rest of it's a dye job. But that being said,
you know what? I think we should bring in the Spirit of Mulan character.
The Spirit of Mulan character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a Mulanish character. Maybe she's heavy into like the martial arts.
Okay. So these are the only 2 people. So the 2 characters that we're going to have that are unknown to the girls are 2 more characters they have to basically fend off to be able to get to the prince. The only problem is that while these girls all have things that technically make it more difficult for them to attain the prince's affections, the 2 other girls are basically using whatever, so like you said, with Mulan, they're heavily into martial arts.
We should also bring in Meg.
Meg.
She uses her feminine wiles for everything.
Meg was from
Hercules.
Oh my God, Meg. Feminine? Well, I don't know if we want to do Meg. There's got to be. I mean, we're talking about somebody that he would use to fend them off. So these are 2 more hurdles for them to get past. Well, feminine wiles aren't going to matter to anybody but who?
he could use Meg to distract Merida.
Okay. Oh, and that's a fair point. So if she's using Meg to distract Merida, and then you have the Mulan character, the one who embodies the martial arts of the Mulan character, who's basically fending off the other 6, because you got one that's, every time she puts up her fist,
you got one who's just passed out. She's down for the count.
Right. She can't get into the fight because every time she gets up the energy, she falls asleep. And then you got one girl she used to be able to sing beautifully. Now she can't speak. That's really her only problem, that she can't talk. So she can't warn the girls that somebody's coming, right?
Yep.
And then you've got Snow White, who can't get rid of her grandmother, who's constantly, "You want this apple, honey? Come on, eat this apple. It's good. It's a good apple. It's really nice apples. Yeah, shine it up over here. Have the apple."
But the reason she can't fight is because her grandma's done come to the beach.
She's like helicopter grandma, just
yeah. But then you have the same problem with Cinderella. Like, her stepmom and stepsisters have come to the beach and you have not finished your chores.
I think Cinderella, I don't think she has control over creatures, the woodland creatures, but she attracts them in the weirdest fucking ways. All right, so she has constantly got these woodland creatures coming to her, but then they start out looking innocent, but the closer she gets to them, they just go fucking batshit crazy on her. So she's getting attacked by squirrels, she's getting attacked by deer, she's getting attacked by all sorts of fucking shit. Birds just pecking at her.
Poor Ariel. Ariel's done been knocked out and everything because she couldn't scream for help.
Right, she can't scream for help. Nobody can help her. She can't talk. She can't get any of that stuff out. Yeah.
It's I feel bad. It's
Rapunzel keeps tripping on her fucking hair.
I mean, if she got it wet, she could use it as a whip, like how you roll the towels and pop.
Right. But every time she tries to tie it up or get it out of the way, it's like trying to drag. She's trying to drag 500 pounds of hair behind her because it's hair.
It's every time she gets it tied up or braided up, 100 more inches just grows.
She goes, "I swear to God, when this is over, I'm shaving my head." She's the bald girl at the end of the movie. Just. Bzzz.
What'd you do with your hair? I donated that shit.
It's Britney bitch playing in the background. It's just.
Oh my God! You did not. Oh my God! I love you, Britney.
I have no problem with Britney. I just thought it would be funny. Just, It's
all you hear is Britney bitching in the opening chords of the rest of that song to get
as she just brushes her hair.
Bonk. It's zoom.
But wouldn't that be the perfect punctuation to that?
Yeah.
It would get a laugh. You want a little bit of a laugh. This is going to be a funny movie. This is definitely a comedy action kind of film.
So it's but now we boil down to the final 3 because we got Meg, who's been distracting Merida, but then we also have Merida who would be against Mulan and Meg.
Right.
It's Merida can hold her own, and so can Mulan. Meg might need to sidestep a little bit.
Merida gonna be I don't know what I got myself into. You're on your own. See you later. I've got other things that I can do here. Thanks for the kiss. I appreciate it.
Meg's see you later, Wonder Bitch.
Who is the one that finally wins his heart? That's the question.
I want to say Mulan.
I want to say Snow White is the one that finally wins his heart.
Ew, why?
Right.
She's poisoned.
No, she's technically trying to be poisoned by Grandma. But she somehow breaks away from Grandma, and she gets the second kiss. She's the only one that gets the second kiss. And the second kiss sweeps him off of his feet. He falls head over fucking heels in love with her. Only for her to go, "Wow, that was not as good as I remember the first time being. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye."
Do you know what that just reminded me of?
What?
Have you seen The Beautician and the Beast?
Yes.
With Fran Drescher?
Yes.
In the very beginning, she's like, "You're not a dwarf." And then she's like, "I have goals. I have ambitions." She's just running away from the prince who kissed her awake.
Yes. Timothy Dalton was fucking fantastic in that film.
That needs to be the version of Snow White, like the Fran Drescher voice and everything.
That was your version of Snow White?
No, I'm just saying that needs to be this version of Snow White.
Oh,
so it's like basically like that's anticlimactic when she got the second kiss. Never mind, I've got goals. I've got ambitions.
Oh my God, you had spinach in your teeth, now it's in my teeth. What the fuck is this shit? Ah, jeez.
Hold on, I gotta make a call. Oh, Mr. Sheffield.
You know what, fucker? You may be a prince, but you kiss like a fucking frog. Go away.
Go call Tiana. She's into that.
Stop talking, ribbit, motherfucker. Go away. Go home.
ribbit.
She's like a Long Island princess. Like just a Long Island princess, you know? She's one of those girls just dressed to the nine in Animal Prince. So our Snow White,
fool the nanny.
Our Snow White is a Long Island princess.
But you know what? In the end, it's got to be like you know those class group photos or whatever, and we just see like the other girls with all their bruises and shit.
Right. Jesus.
Well, but Meg and Mulan are just like back to back with the little peace signs. Like, oh, we're fine.
Yeah, hi. Ignore the fact that I tried to kill you, you know. They're going to remember everything, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't say that all of them were, like, sitting together.
The only two people that were not in full control of themselves were the Mulan and Meg characters.
Meg wasn't in control? Oh, yeah.
No, neither Meg or Mulan were in full control of themselves because he was in control of them.
Yeah, it's one of those things. They also weren't afflicted by their stuff. They were enhanced by it.
Right.
Their strengths in their movies basically were still their strengths, unlike the other girls. There's some of their strengths and stuff that happened to them were their flaws.
What prince do you think that this kid should embody?
Naveen.
Naveen. Prince Naveen?
Yes, from Princess and the Frog.
Okay.
The reason he was turned into a frog because he was self-centered and such.
But this guy has to be charismatic enough to manage to get a kiss out of every single one of them, even though he's a slime ball.
Prince Hans from Frozen.
Okay, I could guess. Because he technically wasn't a bad guy. He was just sort of...
Who, Prince Hans?
Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
Prince Hans was a guy who basically left Anna to freeze to death because he was only using her because he's like the seventh, like the youngest son of seven brothers.
The seventh son of the seventh son?
Yeah.
That thing?
He was the seventh. He was like the youngest of seven, so he was never going to become king unless all of them died, so he was using Anna to get to the throne.
Okay. Maybe I didn't watch Frozen as much or as closely as I should have. I think the Disney movies sort of passed my brain by a little bit. I think
I won't lie. I miss some of the classic animations.
I remember a lot of the classics. It's Frozen. I think like it got so overplayed that I might have blocked some of it out just out of my need to retain my sanity.
Self-preservation won out.
You know, when you have a bunch of kids all singing "Let It Snow" while dancing around you, it's just no. That's the only thing. Like my niece, that is the only line that she remembered from that for the longest time. So it's just "Let it snow, let it snow."
It's "Let It Go."
I know, but that's what I understand. I'm just saying that's what she remembered.
Aww.
Let it snow, because it was a movie about a ice princess, basically.
Sparkly snow. It was basically a movie about a sparkly snow. A
sparkly snow queen,
snowblower, and sparkly dresses.
Yes. You icy son of a bitch. Anyway, because you know what I was thinking.
Elsa was supposed to be the villain of that until they heard Idina Menzel sing the song, and then she became how it is now.
I was thinking Aladdin,
but he wasn't a user.
He wasn't.
He was charismatic.
He wasn't a user. However, I was thinking about a guy. While he could be technically considered a user, I want to say a guy that is so charismatic that you could not hate him outside of the fact that he basically was a player. So even though we want this guy to kind of be likable, kind of, except for the fact that you realize he's a player and he's turning each of these girls one by one, and then by the end of the movie, it flips. So these girls, even though they're all friends and they all know that they each got kissed by him, they're all willing to fight for his heart. And
we've seen that in plenty of movies anyway.
The first instinct is to fight for him, then they fight against each other, and then they realize only one of them needs to actually win his heart to turn the curse off. So then it becomes that's why Snow White ends up with the last kiss, the final kiss. Because they all
get away from her grandmother.
They all basically team up to take down Meg and Mulan, while Snow White goes after the prince.
I'm about to say, Ariel and Aurora didn't do shit. Ariel ain't got no way to do shit. She can't even use her voice to be distracting. unless she's like pulls down her seashells and says, "Look." Well, she just like pulls them down because she can't say look.
We'll figure out something to have Ariel do. You know, maybe she'll poke him with a fork.
I'm about to say, take my dingle hopper, which just sounds like a sex toy. Maybe she, exactly. You know what? Maybe she's throwing starfish like ninja stars.
Right. She's just using all sorts of like shells and starfish and slaps somebody with a cod.
Like grabs a sand dollar, throws it like a frisbee. Grabs an eel, whips it around like a whip.
I'm getting messages from the other room. My son's telling me it's let it go, not let it snow, and I'm gonna have to go in there and tell him that's not how your cousin remembered it. Your cousin used to go around let it snow.
I just find it funny because I said that too.
It's like I've already been corrected. Thank you. It was let it snow. It's just your cousin remembered it as let it go. But your cousin remembered it as let it snow.
Let it snow. Let it snow.
Yep. It's cute. It was cute. But I remember being out in front of the Rent's house. And that was how it was going. I was like, okay.
It's like let it snow was cute the first 5 times.
Okay, I got a thumbs up from the other room. He acknowledges that I now understand that. So we've done this movie. Do you want to try to do a quick pitch for the second movie?
Let's do it.
Okay. Now, mind you, I don't remember anybody. I don't know a lot of actors and actresses in around the 16 to 17-year-old area. They are not in my mental wheelhouse, so we couldn't cast this film. I didn't have enough time ahead of time to do that. However, we might be able to cast some of this. Yes? Well, you gotta look. I can't see what you're looking at. What's going on?
Oh, my screen on my second monitor kind of changed.
Okay.
Like, we were talking about Ariel, and it turned into skeletal mermaids.
Oh, nice. Your computer is...
it looks cool.
Your computer's creeping me out. Let's move on. All right. So, this next movie... A father, or say a recently widowed father of 10, goes on a quest for a treasure that will save his kingdom. So A recently widowed father of 10, we're going back into fairy tale territory here. So a recently widowed father of 10 goes on a quest for a treasure that will save the kingdom. And the note here we have, what if the villain and the hero of our film are somehow related but did not know it?
You know what? I already know who I want to cast as the father and the villain.
The father and the villain. Okay, so who do you want as the father and the villain?
I want the father to be Steve Martin and the villain to be Martin Short.
Steve Martin and Martin Short as opposing... So, okay, are they brothers somehow?
Yes.
Okay, so Steve Martin and Martin Short are brothers somehow.
They were separated at birth.
Okay. So here's how...
I don't want to say they're twins. I want to say like the mother had one, gave it up, and then had the second one, kept it.
Okay, first of all, Steve Martin was too easy. Too easy because of the fact that he did that film. That one film where he had fucking 10 kids. Cheaper by the... 12 kids in that one. He lost 2 kids somewhere in the widowing of his wife. You know?
Well, I'm also trying to think about a dynamic duo that one I've seen play a father like that, and then the other one I have seen play a villain.
They've also been in the same movie together. Father of the Bride.
I think, and now they're on that TV show Murders in the Building.
Yes, I know that they work well together, and they also were in The Three Amigos together.
I think they've also done stand-up together.
More than likely. So here's how I feel the premise is going to be. Steve Martin and Martin Short are from two completely different worlds, literally. Literally two completely different worlds, okay? Martin Short is the, I want to say, the king of a kingdom in another, I don't want to say another dimension, but another world entirely. Okay.
Another realm,
another area of magic and fun and frolic. Okay, whatever. And Steve Martin is the father of 10 kids, okay? Varying in ages at this point, from 12 on up into their 20s.
Okay.
We're having a family reunion. Basically, everybody's coming together. The kids that went off to college, blah, blah, blah. They have now mourning the passing of the mother. We'll get into a somber tone here. Okay. Mom has passed away. They basically had the funeral services, and they're at the wake, and they're all sitting, and there's just basically a gathering, and a random guest has dropped off a gift. Basically, dropped off a gift on the table, that basically sort of in remembrance of the wife, and then just leaves. Basically, you don't get to see this person's face. It's just somebody that walks in. You maybe see the person from waist up. Or waist down, I should say. Sorry. Just walk in. They place the gift on the table, then leave. And one of the kids stumble across it. It's to the father. Steve Martin goes into a separate room to open this up. And as he opens it up, he hears this sort of rattling in another room. Okay? So he opens it up, and it's a box with a key inside.
Okay.
And this key, he doesn't know what the fuck it's to, but he hears this rattling in another room, right? And when he goes to the other room, basically finds this ornate whatever, like a jewelry box that was his wife's. That's what the key goes to. Click, opens the box, and gets sucked off into this other dimension. This other realm. See, convoluted fairy tale storytelling.
God, it's like, I don't know why, but part of it's just picturing, like, I'm just picturing the 10th Kingdom.
So basically, him and this guy are brothers, right? Mm-hmm. Martin Short is basically the ruler, like an evil ruler of this other kingdom, right?
Okay.
I'm just feeding you stuff. You can throw anything you want at me. Anything you want at me.
I'm waiting to see where this is going.
And it turns out their father had passed away over here. Basically, his father had passed away. They don't know how Dad passed away. He does not. Steve Martin has never known his father. As far as he knows, his father was out of the scene before he was even born.
You know what? For just a little more tragedy, Steve Martin doesn't know either one of his parents, because apparently he's from this other realm, was sent somewhere else.
He was an orphan,
and so he just thought he's an orphan.
I want to say it was the court's magician, the wizard, that basically it was requested to have him sent off to another kingdom. What the court's wizard had done, instead of putting him in another kingdom, put him in another realm altogether, basically Earth, and sent him off to grow up in an orphanage over there.
It was a witch played by Femke Jensen. That woman gets better looking with age, and then yes, I'm going off of Hansel and Gretel witch hunters, but she did good in that movie, and she looked amazing.
I don't know if
it's not necessarily she has to play that character. I'm just saying, like, she does a good job as a witch.
I want somebody witchy that doesn't necessarily have a history as a witch, but could play witchy.
That could play witchy?
So this is a person that was supposed to hide Steve Martin from whatever was going on within the kingdom at the time. Basically, he wanted to separate.
She did it for his own good.
I think that what the purpose here is that she knew that this kid was going to grow up. The reason why Steve Martin was sent to another realm altogether. The witch is evil. The father was evil. The mother was good.
So the mother and the witch were in league.
The mother was eventually. So the story of the kingdom itself is the mother was eventually killed by the father. Basically, he murdered his own wife, and he had always intended to pass on his kingdom to one of his sons. Turns out Steve Martin was just as evil as he was. All right.
Oh.
And he found out via the witch basically acts as his oracle as well, that Steve Martin was going to grow up to eventually be the one to usurp the king from his throne.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent Steve Martin. Now, it's funny that these two guys are the ones that are playing these characters, the evil, and Steve Martin is going to be the one that usurps this king from his throne. I'm like, this guy's in his 80s, man. So it's like saying Dick Van Dyke was going to come back and rule the kingdom for 2 years until he dies.
Yeah, but he's going to do it by doing the whole, the old bamboo dancing song from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
So basically, he was sent off to this other realm by his father. His father's was not a good guy.
He's playing our witch / oracle.
Well, there's a lot.
Of an actress who doesn't necessarily fall into that creepy realm that could play a witch. Someone that you wouldn't expect to play a witch but can.
Someone that you wouldn't expect to play evil but is. So what I want to say, when he first runs across this witch again, this person's going to play coy. He's going to play kind, nice. That she wants to come across as a helper. What the purpose is for her to lure him back when they realize that he's back in the kingdom because his brother wants to kill him or lock him away. Basically,
I was going to say Alexis Bledel, but she wasn't even a convincing hooker in Sin City.
Because you have to have somebody that can play both good and evil.
Angelina Jolie.
No, I don't want to put her in another Fairy Tale Kingdom movie. She was already fucking Maleficent, for Christ's sakes. We don't want to do that again.
Just because they were in it.
I'm saying I want somebody that hasn't done witchy before. Has not been in a witchy role. I'm like shooting down. We're not going to do Famke Janssen. We're not going to do this.
That's fine. You can keep shooting me down. I'm going to keep thinking.
Down. It's down.
I noticed.
We're
not using this bitch. We're not using that bitch.
A good girl that can play a badass.
That's hard.
Yeah, that is. It's a very hard thing to come up with. Now, mind you, it doesn't...
No, I can't use Mila Jovovich because she was in that newest Hellboy movie as a witch.
As a witch. You see, you're like, okay, who hasn't played a witch? So many people have played witches.
They have.
Okay. So we want somebody... Do we want somebody around their age that can play both good and bad?
No, I don't want somebody around their age. I want somebody who can still look young.
Okay, so you want somebody
They're
youthful.
Oracle / witch.
You want somebody youthful that doesn't
like,
has not necessarily played a witch.
Over there.
What about Charlize Theron?
She's played a witch.
Did she play a witch? I thought she played a queen, not a witch.
Who was a witch?
Oh, the queen was a witch? That was the Snow White one, right?
Yep.
Okay. Fuck me.
Because I would have already thrown her in there if she hadn't.
That's right. I forgot the Snow White series. Damn it. See, am I even shooting down my own ideas? Look at that. Look at that.
Actually, I shot that one down. How you doing?
We are stuck on... Oh.
Eddie Murphy?
Sandra Bullock.
Has she ever played a witch?
I don't... Yes, she has. Fuck, she has. Never mind. Practical magic. All right, moving on. Damn it. Damn it. The fact that
It also throws out Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, it throws... See, how many fucking people have not played witches at this point? It's such a difficult...
What about Anne Hathaway? Nope, she played in the remake of The Witches. God damn it. God fucking damn it.
Oh, damn. This is more difficult than it needs to be.
Ooh. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Don't fall down.
What about Samara Weaving?
Samara Weaving. Ooh. There we go. I don't think Samara Weaving's ever played a witch. Ever.
No, but...
No?
Well, I don't know. Technically, she did a ritual in The Babysitter and The Babysitter 2, but I don't think she was.
I wouldn't consider... I don't think she was a witch. She was just satanic.
Yeah.
That was more of a...
So I want to go with Samara Weaving because I think she's a good actress and she's played... Just from The Babysitter alone, she's played good and evil in that movie.
Right. Babysitter... Well, what about Guns Akimbo?
She didn't play good at all.
No, she didn't play good at all. I'm saying she can play the good girl and the badass.
Yeah. Because she was also in that movie, oh God, what was it called? Hide and Seek or something like that? Where she
Hide
played
and
the bride.
Seek, Mayhem. She is basically a highly underrated actress.
I agree.
She's fucking amazing.
She's amazing.
Like, personally, if Margot Robbie was not available for Harley Quinn, I would have picked her.
They look a lot alike.
They look a lot alike, but I'm sorry, she plays batshit crazy better than Margot does. Just saying.
If Margot wasn't available as Barbie, Samara Weaving.
Okay, I don't know about that. I don't know if I could believe Samara as Barbie.
I could believe it because if I look at her when you first see her in The Babysitter, it's like she looks flawless, all this other shit before she goes batshit.
Yeah, the only thing is, the only difference is, and this is not a judgment, so don't bite my head off.
All right, I'm ready to bite.
But body proportion wise, Margot fits the role, and Samara doesn't. Samara,
in fairness, Margot's boobs were way underdone to be Barbie.
Yeah, they were.
And okay, well, let's look at the fact of Angelina Jolie. They did an awful job with this, because as somebody who's worn bras that were a little bit too big because I'm trans, like when you wear a bra that's too big, it starts to indent in certain places. Because they wanted Laura Croft to look like she had her big boobs like she did in the games, they put her in a bra that was like 2 sizes too big, and in some of her shirts you can see where it indents.
Nice.
But if you look at drag queens and all this other stuff, they have boob plating. They could have put it on Samara. They could have put it on Margot. But like, if Samara was to play Barbie, they got Hollywood tricks to do shit. They got drag queen tricks to do shit.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you that. However, I like the girl next door turns out to be a batshit crazy woman thing that she's got going on. I don't think that fits into the Barbie category. I don't like Samara Weaving as Barbie. Yes, Harley Quinn, fine. I'll give you the Harley Quinn thing I can do. Barbie, I even had an argument. with Nico and Thomas over when we were trying to cast something. We were like, they wanted. We'll figure that out if I ever get those episodes out. They've been put on the shelf because they're unfinished. But I wanted not Margot Robbie. I wanted Samara Weaving as our version of Harley Quinn from the Evil universe. Mm-hmm. Right?
I can agree with that.
Whereas Harley Quinn was batshit crazy, but leaned towards good a little bit more than evil. Eventually,
you could basically call her chaotic neutral.
Yeah. So I mean, she was in love with a bad guy, but ended up being sort of a half good, half bad. So it was, chaotic neutral. Like right in the middle there. I'm going to do bad things, but for good reasons.
I'm never going to forget. We're bad guys. It's what we do.
Yep.
Alright, so we've cast our witch.
We've cast our witch. Samara Weaving. We've got the kids. Now, I don't think all the kids end up coming over to the kingdom. I do feel like some of them stay behind, some of them end up over there to try to find their father. There's only one stayover from his Cheaper by the Dozen Days that I want in this movie.
Tom Welling?
No, we can't do Tom Welling, because at this point Tom Welling's too old to play his 20-something son.
Well, if we're picturing Steve Martin at his age now, Tom Welling could be his son now.
Tom Welling could still be his son. That's correct. So I wanted to say from 12 to 20-something years old, but we can literally say that these kids are all older children. So he's the father of 10 kids. We didn't give ages. We don't have to give ages. So let's have Tom Welling be one of his
oldest son.
I want to say though, while this woman prophesized that Steve Martin, his son, was going to be the one that topples the kingdom, it turns out to be Tom Welling.
Does Tom Welling go evil?
No. Tom Welling is the one who topples the evil within the kingdom.
You know what? In the other realm, Tom Welling was already an appointed knight, a prince with knight training to be able to take over the kingdom when his father's gone.
We're gonna have fun with this. Tom Welling has been a lifelong cosplayer. He has been a lifelong one of those guys that goes out to those medieval realms places and he cosplays as a knight.
So was Steve Martin sent to our realm?
Steve Martin was sent to our realm.
Okay, so he's always okay. So Tom Welling has grown up in our world and has always cosplayed knightly characters.
Right. He's basically, since he was a kid, has always wanted to be he was always fascinated by Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, right? And since he was a little kid, has always been like he's been playing with his friends as a knight. They always sword play, and he has become really good at it. Like, he is like a champion cosplayer within these local Renaissance fairs. So basically, he tours as a champion cosplayer. He's done everything from jousting to sword play.
I can one up that.
Go ahead.
He's one of the knights at medieval times.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I want to say a medieval times kind of thing. Like, but he has been practicing all of his life to be a knight that he feels he will never actually be. He's always wanted to be one, but he's like, how this is like beyond what I'm able to do. It's like I can do this stuff and I make a great living at it, but I've always wanted to actually be a knight. And when he stumbles into this kingdom, just this smile washes across his face like, you're fucking kidding me. I've been preparing for this shit my whole life.
You know what? I want the next oldest to be a girl, and I want her to be a martial artist who came with him.
Okay.
She does the tournaments and all that, and she's proficient in the size.
And the next kid down is a lounge magician.
Oh my god! All right, so who are we gonna cast as the female there?
The female, the one that's the martial artist just below him. So basically, he is the father of 10 children. All right.
Right. 5
of which end up in this kingdom. The other 5 of which stay home.
I would say we bring it down to maybe 3.
Only 3 end up in the kingdom?
No, let's do 4 because I want a nerdy like a scholar in there too.
Okay. So we have
somebody who did well at Harvard or something like that.
Okay. So we have Tom Welling as the oldest son, basically. Mm-hmm. The oldest daughter, who is his sister, should be played. Why don't we drag Anne Hathaway in that way?
That works.
His sister, Anne Hathaway. So basically, she'll employ that training that she got as Catwoman in the Batman movie. She learned martial arts, acrobatics.
Well, she did. Not just that, she also did some martial arts type things in Ella Enchanted. I think she did some things in Get Smart.
Let's just say she grew up, and her mother pushed her to basically get into gymnastics and acrobatics, and she hated being in gymnastics and acrobatics, but the reason why they pushed her is because she was so good at it. She was given a chance to do martial arts by her father, basically brought to certain, like, I guess, karate, taekwondo classes by the father in secret, because he knew how much she hated doing the acrobatics, and she's like, this is what I really want to do. And he finally breaks down, and when she was in her teens was helping her, go to classes, even though the mother was like, no, you'll get hurt, blah 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 blah, that was all fear because of the son, who used to get the crap beaten out of him doing this cosplaying. Like, he went full out, and he would end up with broken bones and all sorts of other stuff, scars. Like, his entire life has been like literally a physical battle, and he's always getting in trouble in these Renaissance fairs because he goes too fucking hard, like way too fucking hard.
All right, who's gonna be the lounge magician turned sorcerer?
Okay, so we have Tom Welling. We have to have somebody just a little bit younger than
like Anne Hathaway.
Well, no, he doesn't have to be younger than Anne Hathaway. It just has to be younger than Tom Welling, because Tom Welling is the older brother, and she is the oldest sister. So any sister has to be younger than Anne Hathaway, and any brother has to be younger than Tom Welling currently is. Why don't we say Bill Hader?
Who did he play?
Okay, he was in It. He was in the most...
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Okay. Wasn't he also in The Office or something like that?
No, I don't think Bill Hader was in The Office. Look him up. You'll see the face. You'll recognize it like almost immediately. He's been in a ton of stuff.
Like that.
Are you thinking of the guy that's currently? Oh God, what is his name? Oh,
I know the face I'm thinking of. Yeah, the face I'm thinking of is this person.
Bill Hader?
Thomas Hader. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the face I was thinking of, that's who I was thinking of.
So I think Bill Hader is the lounge magician. But when he ends up in this world, it turns out that these tricks that he's been practicing in the real world, these tricks and illusions, somehow he basically ends up with certain magical powers within this realm that were not available to him. And so he's like throwing off certain things because of the hand gestures that he learned, like while he was basically faking illusion magic.
Like it translates into real magic in this realm.
So these same hand gestures that he was using as a flair on like stage magic turns out to be real magic in this world. But
I'm just picturing like him doing something like by accident, and it's just like something explodes or something. He's like, oh,
and he's like, oh fuck, what was that? And then he does it again, something else explodes. He goes, oh, okay, so I don't do that right now. I get it. Yeah,
Well, how do I do?
Oh no, I'm hearing it. I'm not hearing it in Bill Hader's voice. I'm hearing it in Will Arnett's voice. Come on, Will Arnett, Amy Poehler's like the one that they're always together. Like they were in Blades of Glory together.
Didn't see it.
Will Arnett, look him up. You'll see what I mean, though.
That's what I'm doing.
He's like in everything. Way too many things. I'm hearing the stage musician as Will Arnett, not as Bill Hader. I like Bill Hader, don't get me wrong. Come on, Will Arnett. You looking him up?
I've already looked him up, but I'm looking up something else.
What are you looking up?
He can't be, because he is older than...
Fuck, okay, so it has to be Bill Hader, then. So we have to have some... What?
Actually...
Go ahead.
Bill Hader is a year younger than Tom Welling.
Okay, so there you go. Bill Hader it is, then. Bill Hader.
Now I gotta look up something else.
What do you have to look up?
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway? Why do you have to look up Anne Hathaway?
Annie Hathaway.
Anne. You.
Her name is Annie.
Anne.
41. She's 41.
Okay, so she's still younger.
Her age.
She's still younger. So there we go. So we have to have one more, and this is the nerdy character, which I'm guessing is the girl that's just a bit younger than Anne Hathaway.
It could be a girl or a guy.
Okay. I mean, do you want to have 3 guys, 1 girl?
Yeah.
Or do you want to make it even teams here?
That's like, hell, I could do 3 brothers who would be protective over a sister too.
Nerdy.
Except for...
So I want to say...
Originally when I picture him, I pictured that guy, this one kid from like Little Giants, I think it was.
I want to...
Glasses.
I want to say this is the only other brother. So this is the only other guy that is a brother. All the rest of them are sisters. So the rest of the other sisters ended up staying home. The other 6 sisters.
Actually, the guy I'm thinking of could play this character because he's 39.
Okay, go ahead.
His name is Todd Bosley. He played the kid with the glasses in like Little Giants. He always looked very nerdy in whatever he was in. He was in some Disney stuff.
You know who I was thinking of? And you can tell me, I mean, we can go with Todd Bosley, you said? Todd Bosley?
Yeah, because he was also in Jack.
Okay. So we could go with Todd Bosley. I was thinking Will Poulter.
Ooh. I'll go with him. He's hot.
I was thinking we could go with Will Poulter.
And he's only 31. Let's go with him.
He is I want to say he's the guy. He went to he didn't go to Harvard. He went to MIT. So he is like a brain in the way of a lot of basically he's like a fucking mental MacGyver.
But I want him to look the way he looks now because he got tired of being picked on for being the brain. So he went and at least got a bod to go with it.
I want to say that he got the bod but never kicked the nerdy personality. So he is.
That's what I'm saying.
So I want him. I want him to be absolutely ripped, but you don't see it. He wears clothes that make it. Yeah. You can't really see anything. And at one point in the movie, he just goes full fucking nerd rage, and he has this weird fucking moment where he just rips open the button shirt, and you just see what he's the whole thing going on there.
I want to say he goes nerd rage against Samara Weaving because she keeps like basically trying to bring him down.
Right. She's just poking at him, and finally he just fucking flips out, and she goes, "You've lost all your buttons." Just
what happened to your buttons then?
They're all over the place.
And then he slaps the shit out of her with a book.
What the hell's wrong with you? Can you pick this shit up? Basically, he's the only one that gets caught. So the other three basically don't get caught, but he is just so in his own head about it. He's down on himself. Even though he's got the body and he has been like pumping iron.
He never lost the esteem issue.
He never basically regained his self-esteem, and at some point, basically, we're talking like we're talking in D&D terms. He has like berserker rage, just fucking flips out. Whatever, he's like chained to a wall, just rips the chains down off the wall and just goes nuts. You know, just rips the shirt off, and she's like, "You got your buttons fucking everywhere. What's wrong with you? Pick that up, sweep it up."
As funny as that is, it doesn't even have to be that way. It could be one of those things like she's got him chained to a wall because she needs the blood like that flows to the family line. So she's draining it from him, like cutting his chest, whatever, just to get a little bit of blood every now and then that she needs. And at some point, like, her words become too much, and that's when he rips the chains from the walls.
Okay, so she thinks he's not going to do anything. Nothing.
Yeah, because he just lets her do it for the longest time, and then maybe he says something about his mom, that just gets him to go.
Not chained to the wall, manacled to the wall. So basically, what's going on is he's got these cuffs that basically pin his wrists and his hands to the wall behind him.
Yeah.
Right? There's a bookshelf above his head. Right? So he's basically basically got his hands manacled to the wall, up, basically pinned behind him. And this entire time he has no self-esteem. She's picking on him, blah, blah. She'll get like right up in his face and get him so angry. And throughout the entire movie, he's just chained to this wall, manacled with his hands behind him. And then when he finally snaps and that nerd rage moment hits, it's one swift motion where he pops free, grabs a book, smacks her down over the head with it. And just knocks her out flat.
Oh my gosh. And while that could actually be towards the end of the movie, because it's one of those things I'm picturing, like this like battle of and like Annie, Tom, and Bill trying to get to their brother to save him.
So it's the brain. Basically, he is the brain that is sort of the brawn of the group. You have two skilled warriors, but from different fields.
He's kind of like the heart of the family.
Right. So he's basically the heart. You have the guy that's like pure warrior that's been training all his life. You have the acrobatic martial artist.
The agility warrior.
And then you've just got this class clown fucking magician who now has real magic, and he's just like, everything that he does is just, it's chaotic. Just like he doesn't know what he's doing half the time. Like, I didn't know that was going to do that. Oh, fuck.
There's got to be like some, like, because it's like, I still want Will Poulter's character to be the one that breaks something, whatever curse is there that's supposed to be happening.
Right.
So it's like, Will Poulter's done brought a book down on this bitch. But, the other two, like, Annie and Tom have basically, like, split the people in half so that Bill could get to Will. Samara's done got up, so Bill does some type of hand motion to put her back down. And it's Will who's looking through her books, trying to find the way to reverse everything.
I want to say that Bill Hader, though, like, he is so good at magic. Like, he's been studying, like, David Copperfield and Harry, was it Blackstone? I'm trying to remember that the guy that
I don't know my magicians.
There's a bunch of different magicians, but anyway, he's been studying all of the classic, like, magicians, the illusionists, and he's even gone so far as to, like, pick up books on, like, the magical arcane that he thought was innocuous, and so he's practicing hand motions to kind of go as flares, because he's like, none of this is actually going to work that way, but he's not realizing that while he's thinking he's creating practical illusion, he's creating actual illusion with the magic that he's doing. So when he's talking, I want to say, like, you see a little montage of, like, different people that he's worked with that have quit, because, like, when he's putting them in boxes to make them disappear, like, they're actually disappearing and going somewhere for a minute. And then they come back and they come out and they're just freaking out, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and they just walk off the stage,
It's like, I agree with all of that. It's like, I also want to say that he's also already, like, mastered a hand gesture to duplicate himself, and they're basically to keep Samara busy, like, ping-pong her around.
Okay.
So that it gives Will time to actually look through the book, read something a little bit to see what needs to be done.
What needs to be done?
Like, I think at some point there needs, like, while we see Samara, like, bleeding Will and all this other stuff, there needs to be a montage.
I said Harry Blackstone. It's Harry Houdini, by the way. That's who I was thinking of. Houdini.
But, like, there needs to be a montage, like, Tom is training, like, in this realm with the knight, and he's, like, off on her own, making sure she can still do whatever she needs to do, like a ninja.
Right.
And it's like, we got Bill sitting there doing his things, practicing, making sure he knows what he's doing with his hands.
Like, he ends up being the coach, the guy that's like, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, right?
Yeah.
But it ends up being the four of them leading the king, not the four of them leading the kingdom, but the four of them taking down the kingdom. Basically, taking Martin Short down, who is powerless without his henchmen, without the witch
without Samara.
Without Samara in play.
It's like, it's still Tom Welling who takes down Martin Short. I want
to do a Monty Python pun in the movie. Can we do a Monty Python pun in the movie?
Go for it, because I don't know any. I've only seen
okay, so I think that is the movie that I'm thinking of. So basically, it's the whole bring out your dead scene, basically. But they talk about the witch that they're going to throw in the lake, and he says something to the nature. She turned me into a newt. He's like, a newt? He goes, well, I got better. I want this to be the same thing where Bill Hader accidentally turns the witch into a newt. He's like, oh my god, I turned her into a newt. And then Will Poulter goes, a newt? And he goes, she'll get better. Just an homage to Monty Python. Just a poke at their joke,
Yeah, but we also have but Tom Welling saves the day and does whatever becomes a ruler like he wanted.
Mind you, we've done this entire movie without really bringing Steve Martin into it. What's going on with Steve Martin the entire time?
He's holding the fort down. Because he's too old to do the adventure, but he went on the adventure to save the kingdom.
I've got this idea of Steve Martin going and trying to convince this village at the foothills of this kingdom to rise up against the king, and by the time he gets there with all these villagers with their pitchforks and torches ready to take down the kingdom, his kids have already taken care of it.
All you see is, like, Anne Hathaway, her hair half pulled back and she's bloody.
I want to see, like, Steve Martin with, like, a business shirt and a tie, but the sleeves are ripped off and he's got the tie around his head and he's got, like, war paint on.
Oh, God.
And he's, like, leading the charge with a pitchfork in one hand, a torch in the other. It's like,
oh, my goodness.
So the entire time, I'm just thinking, like, the kids are the ones that end up taking down the kingdom, because they weren't expecting the kids. They thought that Steve Martin was the one that they had to rally against. And that's who Samara Weaving was focusing on the entire time.
You know what? At some point, Bill Hader, like, Samara is the oracle. That means she could see things that, maybe Bill Hader had, like, during some of his practicing arcane stuff, was able to shield him and his siblings away from prying eye magic.
I've got an idea.
That's why she never saw them.
I've got an idea. A twist. A little twist. So, in the climactic moment, so we're talking about the fact that Samara Weaving thought that the king's son, the king's second son, was the one that was going to basically destroy the kingdom. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What if it wasn't the king's son, but one of his wife's sons? So she had a third son in secret. He didn't know about her. The reason he killed her was because he found out that she had another child, but he didn't tell anybody. So basically, he pays no attention to her. As far as he's concerned, his queen is locked away. He doesn't deal with her. She doesn't show face, nothing. He's a horrible guy, right? And she had, like, an affair with somebody. We'll figure out who in a minute. But it turns out that basically he goes through this whole thing where he finally breaks down and tells these kids that they're all adopted. All of these children have been adopted. So he didn't actually, he couldn't be a physical father to anybody because basically he is a product of another realm altogether. So human compatibility with what basically he's not, whatever he is not compatible with the humans of that realm. He couldn't have kids.
So Steve Martin couldn't have kids?
Steve Martin couldn't have kids with, basically, we'll figure out the reasoning why, but he just couldn't. And he adopted all these kids, and it turns out his first son, the one that he adopted, Tom Welling, was the son of basically his brother.
Huh.
So he ended up adopting his brother as the first son of his sons.
You know, you just turned one of this whole plot into something confusing.
It's very confusing. It's very confusing, but that's why the prophecy was showing that it was the king's son, or it was basically, I don't want to say, it could have been the king's son.
Then that means that, like, you know, there was an affair everywhere.
Okay,
maybe it's just the first 4 children that were adopted came from this realm.
Let me twist it back.
So
let me bring it back. What if it is another one of the king's sons? But this is the son that he didn't want anybody to know about. So basically, he got rid of the first son, he got rid of Steve Martin, and thought that this guy was going to get sent away because he didn't want this person to take down the kingdom. He ended up having an affair with somebody else, and that son was also sent away, but he doesn't talk about that one. So the prophecy, they were focused on Steve Martin, but it turns out it was Tom Welling.
Okay. But I have to put a plot hole in your story there.
Sure.
That also means that at the least, Bill Hader also has to come from this realm if magic is working for him.
Not necessarily. So, do you think...
So this book got sent to this realm that he studied from?
Because of the fact that the guy that raised them embodies basically the magics of this realm, parts of him were bestowed upon these children that he adopted. So everybody, technically, every one of these kids would technically be able to... now I'm trying to think. Maybe I'd have to come up with different reasoning. I'm making this a little bit more crazy than it needs to be.
I was about to say, you're turning this into a whole mini series.
I'm turning it into a mini series because I like
that needs a lot of explanation.
Because I like the idea of them all having some tie to this other realm, but there's things within them, like they're human there and they're human here, but they're not compatible between the realms. You know what I mean? So
maybe
technically, any human creature that were
they all look human.
Maybe any human creature that were to cross into this realm would technically have powers bestowed upon them. I was going to say imbued. I don't think that's the word that I'm looking for, but basically have powers.
Well, maybe. Well, it's like if we go that way. I mean, yeah, we got Tom Welling, who was the son of a king that nobody knew about and got adopted in the other realm because I guess he got sent away.
Right.
Anne Hathaway, once she comes into here, maybe somehow, maybe she loves cats, and that's why she's always had the affinity and the agility to do the martial arts and the acrobats.
Maybe, I mean, mind you, the thing that we're talking about...
She's a bitch who always lands at her feet.
The thing that we're talking about with Anne Hathaway does not necessarily have to be attributed to this realm, right? It's just enhanced by them being within this realm that is basically... It's a magical realm. So these magics only enhance what she already has naturally. Bill Hader, I kind of get the idea that technically maybe he's a transplant from this realm, maybe he isn't. You don't quite know.
He doesn't have to be, but maybe the book that he learned from is... Right,
the book that he learned from may have been something that spilled over from that realm into this realm. So the gestures that he was learning and spent his entire youth learning, basically, that became a part of him when he brought it over into this realm. He didn't realize he was activating magic from someplace else. And Will Poulter, it's just his natural abilities, again, just like Anne Hathaway, were enhanced by having contact with this magical realm. That and being extremely close to Samara Weaving, who was casting all sorts of shit. You know, that close to an actual natural witch.
Mom.
Don't you talk about my mom! Boom!
My mom's dead!
You know.
I just left her funeral.
Leaves the imprint of whatever's on the face of that book and the side of her face for the rest of the film.
You know what? Maybe. Well, then my whole story goes out the window.
Why is that?
The reason she's bloodletting Will Poulter's character is because she needs the blood through that bloodline. Well, if he's adopted, that blood ain't flowing through him.
Will Poulter's a virgin. She's the blood of a virgin.
Oh,
he never had the self-confidence to date. He never had any self-confidence. It's here that he learns that self-confidence and to rely on himself. So he doesn't date. He's never been with a girl or a guy or whatever he happens to fancy within his own thing. So he is a virgin to this day, right? In spite of the fact that he buffed himself out, he can't even bring himself to be a show-off because he doesn't have that kind of confidence. He was just tired of being picked on for that one thing. Maybe if I got this jacked, they would stop picking on me. And it was just, they don't. They still pick on him even though he's jacked. So this is where he learns that confidence, when he finally learns to just fucking take control of his own existence. To stop actually letting people pick on him.
I'm casting one more character.
One more character. Go ahead.
A seductress played by me to go after Will Poulter so he loses his virginity.
Throwing yourself in the film, huh? Huh?
I volunteer myself as tribute.
I think there's a lot of people that would volunteer themselves as tribute.
I cast myself first.
Yeah? It's like, you will do it!
I'll do it! Fuck these other bitches. I said it first!
I'm not a virgin. I mean, if you count self-love, I mean,
yeah, if you count Rosie Palmer and her 5 maidens.
Right. All right. Anywhere else you want to go with this film, other than trying to cast yourself into Will Poulter's shorts?
No, I was just thinking about somebody telling him to go fuck himself, and he's like, I do every night.
Well, it's not time yet. I do it on a schedule.
That would be the nerdy response. Not quite time for that yet.
I have that scheduled in around 9 o'clock. It's not. It's like a bedtime ritual.
It's after I watched my DVR reruns of Jib's Judy.
And the product of my self-flagellation is also wonderful as a skin cream.
Oh, ew, gross.
You ever watch Nip Tuck, where there's this woman who gets semen basically because it's good for her skin?
Yeah, but gross. I don't even let people do facials to me. That's gross. To me, that's gross. Everybody else, y'all can do what you want. I'm not shaming y'all. I just think it's gross.
With that, on behalf of myself and Miss Piper, Miss Piper, would you actually, not on behalf of Miss Piper, you can tell them where they can find you. Remember all the things.
Remember all the things.
Remember all the things. Quick, come on.
Y'all can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/beautiful_Piper, BEUTIFULL_PIPER. You can find me on Instagram and X under Piper D. Aaron. That's PIPERDAARON. And you can find me here on this podcast.
And of course, you can find this podcast on Spotify. You can find it on, I guess, YouTube now. I can't tout Google anymore. And you can also find this on Apple and pretty much wherever you listen to your podcasts. As always, like, share, subscribe. I don't like when people do that, but apparently it works. Like, share, subscribe. Give us a little bit of feedback. If you love us, tell us you love us. If you hate us, tell us you hate us. As long as you're paying attention to us, we're over here. We're over here.
But if you hate us, tell us why.
No, don't tell us why. Just hate. Just hate for the sake of hate.
But also don't forget, you can also find us on the app Good Pods.
Yours?
You can interact with
Good Pod.
Episode.
Good Pods is really good. Yes, sit down. You can really interact with us on. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We have pages on each one. So if you want to find us there, you can interact with us personally. Send us a message. Tell us movies you think we should watch, or give us a little feedback. Or hell, if you are listening to us and you happen to have your own podcast, or are writing your own movie, or filming your own movie, or doing anything in the realm of entertainment, come join us on our podcast. Sit down and talk with us.
Thank you.
We love to network. We want to network more because we've only got a little network of people we're working with, and we want to spread our wings and fly and bring a few more people under the stinky blanket.
Ew.
Oh, come on. Come on. After what I did during the break, I mean, I've got to run some windows here.
You mean what we did?
I've hotboxed this room.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, just...
Was your asshole that bad?
Well, ask the cat who left.
Oh, that shit rank.
when you let her rip and then the cat's head shoots up, shakes his head and walks out of the room, yeah, you know you've done something. Like this cat just had his own head up his own ass, and he looked at me and went, "Did you have to, man?" You know. I've
had it worse. I've actually had a cat way too close when I accidentally let one rip, and it made that sound like when you see it on like shorts and everything. They're like, bleh!
Have you ever farted with an animal in the room? My cat has done this where I'm just sitting there and the cat's sleeping. And then I will just let one rip, and all of a sudden that cat gets up and starts running in place to get out of the room because it's hardwood floor here, so it's running in place for a few seconds like a bad cartoon. All right, drink some water, you thirsty bitches.